welcome. It's good you're here. And we're all over the place. You know that. We were live on YouTube. We're live on X, so you can watch us on video, the whole show. There's even a chat room on YouTube along the right side of the screen. We are on the air from 3 to 6. And, of course, the podcast. The podcast has everything, the whole show that you could listen to more quickly. After 6 o'clock, you can download that podcast and catch up on whatever you missed. And I understand a lot of you missed parts of it, which is terrible. So that's why we have the podcast, so you could fill in all the gaps. Now, we're going to start here with a story that got a lot of play over the weekend, and something we've been talking about for a while. And you may remember, this all started with Nick Shirley, who is the 23-year-old independent journalist. He and his video camera and a microphone, and he busted open the story in Minneapolis, all the Somali immigrants that were ripping off the state of Minnesota, billions of dollars, fake daycare centers. Then came to California and busted open the story of millions and millions of dollars being stolen by these nonprofits who had fake hospice centers and other medical care facilities, and stealing a lot of Medicaid, Medicare money. And it's all true. You don't hear anybody denying it. It's all true what he discovered. And so the legislature, this little weaselette named Mia Bonta, she is the wife of that dope Rob Bonta, who's the attorney general. What a husband and wife team this is. And she wrote up a bill to try to block Nick Shirley and all the other independent reporters out there from posting online videos and other information when he exposes the fraud stories. And there seems to be a multitude of interpretations about what's in the bill. Carl DeMaio, the assemblyman, called it the Stop Nick Shirley Act. And Newsom and the legislators are putting out all kinds of propaganda online this week. I touched some kind of a nerve. And Nick actually tried to interview some of the legislators, and they got quite, they got very defiant with him at times. So, you know exactly what's going on? Well, Carl's coming on again to explain this, because now Newsom has signed the law, which doesn't seem to be constitutional, but that doesn't seem to matter anymore. Carl, how are you?
Well, I'm pretty ticked off that these politicians are literally trying to strip us of our First Amendment rights, of free speech, of journalism, and they're doing it to cover up the fraud that they've allowed to occur throughout the state. It is very clear. It's not just mismanagement anymore, John. This is willful facilitation of fraud. And when you follow the money, the groups that they're trying to protect are groups that they're funding with taxpayer money through contracts and grants for so-called public.
Oh, you blipped out there. All right, see if we can reconnect. The fraud is true. I think Shirley made it clear. And nobody's been able to deny that his stories were correct. Newsom never even tries. Neither did Tim Walz in Minnesota. Neither did all these assembly people. So what Newsom is trying to do is block the dissemination of truth about all the fraud in his state, in his programs. All right, Carl, sorry, you blipped out there.
Yeah, so it's clear that politicians want to stop the journalists, the citizen journalists, from uncovering their fraud. And that's why they passed this bill. The group behind this bill, the Stop Nick Shirley Act, the group that wrote it, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights LA, CHIRLA, it's getting tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money. They're using it for politics, and they want this all to be kept under the radar, which is why they need to silence people like Nick Shirley. This is not only a violation of First Amendment, this is clearly a facilitation of fraud, and we cannot allow this bill to stand.
$43 million. You found this out. You went through the budget and found out that the legislature was giving out $43 million to CHIRLA. CHIRLA had a lot to do with instigating the anti-ICE riot here at L.A.
I got kicked off the budget committee. This isn't the first time that CHIRLA has gotten politicians to do their dirty work to cover up their secrets. I got kicked off the budget committee when I had the audacity to read out Shirley's grants and contracts on record at a hearing of the budget committee. I then was removed the very next day because we are on to the money laundering and the fraud that's going on. Now they're trying to stop citizen journalists just like they stopped me in Sacramento.
Now, can you explain exactly how it stops or impedes journalists? Because every story I read seems to have a different interpretation depending on who's doing the talking.
Because
you tell
some
me
of the
exactly
stories that are
what
being written by liberal media outlets take what Democrats say as gospel truth. But here are the provisions. And we have the provisions on my website and on my podcast where I walk through the actual text. They have a paragraph that says you're not allowed to tape record and then post images or video of these grantees or employees of the grant group or the NGO or the fake hospice or the non-existent daycare center. If you tape record anything related to them, like vacant daycare beds or non-existent hospices, then if you post that to the internet, you've committed a crime under this law. Then another section allows the group to go and haul you into court and get injunctive relief to remove the videos and to fine you $4,000 per instance. And then finally, they eliminated the SHIELD Act exemption. The SHIELD Act is for journalists who don't want to give up their sources. And this section was pointed to in the committee hearings months ago by Mia Bonta saying, see, we're not going after journalists. We have this exemption. Well, then they removed the exemption last week with an amendment. So it's very clear the language is open shut. They said, well, you have to make a threat in order for this to be material that is restricted online. That's not true. The language of the bill says simply by posting a video of the organization's activities or personnel or volunteers and posting that online, that is a violation of law. You don't have to make a threat. So anything about, oh, we're trying to protect people from threats, that is a lie. That is the window dressing.
All right. Here's a headline on the LA Times internet story. Newsom signs bill talking about the bill you're speaking of. Newsom signs bill shielding immigrant aid workers' home addresses to shield their home addresses from public records.
Yeah, that is not what the bill is about. That is what they're selling it as. But we already have existing law to protect people from harassment. There's ample statutory provisions that will prohibit threats or doxing.
Okay, but so this was so the writer here, Jawed Kaleem, he selected another provision in the bill to highlight as the main story and ignored what you're talking about, what they're doing to journalists. He does reference you that you dubbed it the Stop Nick Shirley Act, calling you a right-wing online influencer.
Oh, my goodness.
No, I'm calling Nick Shirley that, excuse me, about the Somali childcare thing in Minnesota. But I mean, that's not until paragraph 6.
Right.
So,
the other one is the public broadcasting stations in California have the same story they posted saying Republicans decry Immigrant Services Protection Act. And I'm just like, no, this is not at all what we're creating concerns about. It is the infringement on First Amendment rights. It is the attack on citizen journalists. And it is the cover-up of fraud. What are these people worried about?
When I read this, I thought they were talking about an entirely different bill.
Exactly, because they're cherry-picking. This is what the Democrats do. They put window dressing on their agenda, and then the media plays up the window dressing. This is how the scam goes. It's like the magic act at the circus. You know, they use something to distract you while they're doing the bad deeds that they've always sought out to do. This bill is not about protecting people from being doxxed. It's not about protecting people from violence. That's already ample coverage in state law. This is about targeting these citizen journalists who are on the case of the fraud that these organizations are engaged in. Make no mistake about it.
Okay, Carl, Thank you for coming on. I got to run.
Thank you.
But let's keep on top of this because this is wildly bad journalism, and it's intentionally bad and misleading.
Yep.
All right, we'll keep on the case. Carl DeMaio, Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. California Attorney General Bonta cancels a meeting about a potential settlement with Paramount Skydance, and the family of a high school player in L.A. who died after suffering a brain injury during a game is suing the L.A. school district. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, going to the 14 next.
Infinity Bank. Most banks give you a call center. Infinity Bank gives you the president, Victor Guerrero, and you can speak to him directly and open up an account. Call 657-223-1000 or visit infinity.bank.
Southland weather from KFI, even hotter tomorrow, highs ranging from the 80s to around 110. This report brought to you by Staples from your Toyota Dealers Traffic Center. We make it easy. Crash on the 14 in Palmdale.
Seen right before Avenue N, it's a crash. It is on the right shoulder, but there is an overturned vehicle over there, so it's getting a lot of attention. Traffic is stop and go from Rancho Vista Boulevard. Downtown Los Angeles, the 10, westbound at Alameda. You got a disabled vehicle in the right lane there, and that's jammed up from the 5. In Anaheim Hills, real tough traffic for the 91. Eastbound before the 241. A broken down car in the carpool lane had things stop and go all the way back to Imperial Highway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
Lose the weight. Feel incredible. Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
No required subscriptions, no trial periods, no surprise charges, no monthly fees. iHeartRadio is different. It's 100% free. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
You've thought about moving some of your IRA into gold. Most people have. Here's what stops them. They think it's complicated. It's not. Golden Crest Metals moves existing IRA and 401k money into physical gold and silver every day. Tax and penalty free. Featured on Fox Business and CNBC. Plus, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857. That's 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offer is a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium mintage coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped at $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy. This report is sponsored by rockauto.com.
Oh, bent tie rod. What are you going to do?
I'm way ahead of you. I'll be on rockauto.com before you can even finish this commercial.
He's right. rockauto.com. Parts when you need them.
It's Sit and Sleep's giant Labor Day sale that'll have you doing your best California dreaming ever.
Right, Dad. Save up to $1,400 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets and up to $1,000 off Beautyrest Black and Serta.
Plus, with your good credit, get interest-free financing for 36 months with your minimum monthly payment.
So if you want to live the California dream every day, don't miss the Labor Day sale that'll have you California dreaming every night.
Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a brand new podcast. Heartbreak, hope, and a whole lot of what would you do? Stream now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Just call Sweet James at 1-800-9-million. Just call Sweet James, your accident attorney.
Sweet James Accident Attorneys. Office in Los Angeles, California, and sweetjames.com.
If you run a business, you know how hard it is to get your customers' attention. Yet 85% of consumers say radio is the last thing they hear before shopping. Let iHeartRadio help you reach your next customer today at iHeartAdvertising.com.
Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that there are lots of things that can make your engine light come on, besides your engine. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's technicians are specially trained to diagnose what's causing your engine light to come on and fix it, no matter what it is. Keep your eyes on the road and your ears open for another episode of AMCO's Bet You Didn't Know.
AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free. Restrictions, limitations, and exclusions may apply. See AMCO.com for complete details.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
It's Conway here for Cars for Kids. We've donated 2 vehicles to Cars for Kids, and man, was it easy. Cars for Kids has been around for 30 years, and they know what they're doing. I recently saw firsthand one of their summer programs going on right now where they have over 1,400 kids. I saw hundreds of kids in the camp, and they couldn't thank Cars for Kids enough for making this incredible opportunity possible. So when you donate a car, you're helping real kids thrive this summer. CarsForKids.org. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS, Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K.
Tim Conway Jr.
Like, there was a story that came out last week that McDonald's is hurting. We can't do a million things on this menu. We just, we're not going to be good at all of them. And meanwhile, nobody said that In-N-Out wasn't doing well.
Tonight, 6 to 10 on KFI AM 640.
They just put a simple burger, fries, and a Coke, and they give it to you, and you split. And they're doing great.
Yeah.
So it's different business minds.
This is KFI. More stimulating talk.
Everyone wants answers. I'm just really confused about what happened that day.
A new podcast series, Fault Line Haditha, tells the story of a shocking crime and a cover-up at the highest levels of the United States Marine Corps.
If you've got 5 players and you offer immunity to 4, you better be right about the 5th. Because if you're not, then you've just given immunity to your killer.
Listen to Fault Line Haditha on America's #1 podcast network, iHeart. Follow Fault Line Haditha and start listening on the free iHeart Radio app today.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. The John Kobylt Show. And you can follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media. And we're live on YouTube. Are you on YouTube yet? How about X? We're on both. Live video. Subscribe, become a member, youtube.com/at John Kobylt Show. We were just talking with Carl DeMaio. I'm starting to believe every conspiracy theory now about the media's intertwining with the Newsom administration and the Democratic legislature. I mean, really has become a public relations arm. And there's just not much, there's almost no news that you can trust anymore. The LA Times and the guy who wrote this, Jawed Kaleem, writes a story, and the headline is, Newsom signs bill shielding immigrant aid workers' home addresses. Well, the bill's really about punishing independent citizen journalists, and we have many on the show here, who show up with a notebook and a camera and show you what Nick Shirley did. All the fake hospice offices, fake child care offices, all the fancy cars in the parking lots where these offices exist, the empty offices, the lack of children, the lack of dying hospice patients. So he records all this and interviews some of the people who allegedly run it, and this bill would stop them from doing it. And Jawed Kaleem in the LA Times completely ignores that and focuses on another provision in the bill that shields immigrant aid workers' home addresses. Now, you know that what Nick Shirley says is the truth in these cases, because nobody's even bothered to deny it. I haven't seen an attempt. And what Carl DeMaio is saying is also true, because look how crazy they get. When the legislators were filing in last week to vote on this, I'm going to play you this clip again. Running at Nick Shirley, because Shirley was trying to stop the legislators and talk to them further about what they were doing. And here comes barreling Terry Shands, a real weirdo, who's chief of staff for Assemblywoman Tina McKinnon from here in Los Angeles. So play part of this clip again.
Into immigration support service providers.
Did you guys hear that Nick Shirley has a small penis allegedly?
Wow, that's so adult of you.
Did you hear about this? Nick Shirley
you would never see
has a small. Well, I don't know. This is what they're reporting. Have you seen this?
Well, the reports are wrong.
They're reporting. Well, we don't know. Prove me wrong.
No, I'm not. I don't do that.
Prove me wrong. It was good enough for Charlie Kirk. Prove me wrong.
You don't want to do that.
Well, if you consent.
I mean, we are in California. They do support pedophiles.
I think you're over 18. So there are news reports happening that Nick Shirley has a small. Do you have any comment on Nick Shirley's allegedly small?
All right, stop. You get the idea. And what's getting bleeped out is the word penis. So he kept repeating over and over again that Nick Shirley has a small penis. This is a grown man. At first, I thought it was Carell, but it's Terry Shands, and he's yelling about the penis. You know how much this guy makes? $207,000 a year. $207,000, and he's now facing multiple human resource complaints. Several complaints have been filed with the California legislature's HR department, and Shands is going to face consequences. Ashley Zavala from KCRA TV said she heard from multiple sources over the last couple of days that these complaints have been formally filed against Terry Shands. And again, Assemblywoman Tina McKinnor, and she's, I guess, a lunatic. She represents Gardena, Hawthorne, Inglewood, Lawndale, parts of Los Angeles, and other places. And it's actually a guy. The guy's in his 40s. I looked him up. He's got a waddle to him, if you know what I mean. So he comes barreling up, yelling about penises. Nick Shirley's just looking at him. And this is the chief of staff. This is what they're like. That is a mental institution, that legislature, an absolute mental institution. But what's galling and sickening is you look at the Los Angeles Times and they completely whitewashed the story and said, oh, no, it's about immigrant aid workers' home addresses. And there must be a lot of people waking up and getting pissed off because Newsom's, all those little gerbils in Newsom's press office were putting out all kinds of propaganda about this over the weekend. So some kind of nerve. I mean, when you get a grown man running out, and he was holding a sign, too, about Nick Shirley's member there. So I don't know. But Terry Shands, I don't know. Imagine you did that. You started screaming about another employee. You started screaming to a journalist about the size of his penis while you're representing your company on video. What do you think would happen? Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
California Attorney General Bonta has canceled a meeting about a potential settlement with Paramount Skydance.
The meeting would have taken place today. Bonta says the company demonstrated a lack of good faith in early settlement talks. Bonta is leading a group of states suing to block Paramount Skydance's planned merger with Warner Brothers Discovery, citing antitrust rules. Paramount Skydance agreed to delay its acquisition of WBD while the case heads to trial, but unions are pushing for a quick settlement. Bonta says his office had a meeting with Paramount on Friday, and it did not maintain the confidentiality of that meeting. He says the company leaked the alleged substance of settlement discussions and misrepresented the discussions. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
The news is brought to you by American Vision Windows. The back end of Hollywood production is falling further behind.
State lawmakers looking at giving tax credits for spending on post-production jobs, including sound, visual effects, and editing. Researchers say California's share of those jobs has dropped from 53% to 42% over the last 13 years, as New York, Atlanta, Canada, and more offer financial incentives to the studios. Critics say AB 2319 would give $100 million a year in tax credits to subsidize jobs and projects that are already here. Those in favor say the tax credit would bring back or keep post-production jobs in the state, even if the production is filmed outside of California. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
The family of an LA high school football player who died after suffering a brain injury during a game is suing the LA school district. The family of 16-year-old Christopher Aiden Garcia says he hit the back of his head on the field while making a tackle for Southeast High School back in 2024. He died 11 days later. The wrongful death lawsuit claims the field was too hard and poorly maintained and accuses the district of failing to provide safe facilities, proper equipment, and adequate supervision. The family's attorney says there was nothing unusual about the play.
It's the kind of play that's how they teach you to do it.
The school district says it cannot comment during the litigation process. A new study shows the left-to-right political divide in California now literally runs from coastal areas to inland. The study by the Public Policy Institute of California shows there's been a shift in voting trends in parts of Southern California. The Press Enterprise reports there are now more conservative voters in western Riverside County, while Orange County, which used to be mostly conservative, is now more liberal. The study also shows the San Diego region now leans more to the left, while LA is still mostly Democratic. U.S. Army Secretary Dan Driscoll is stepping down from his role by the end of the year.
The Wall Street Journal reports it comes after months of tension between himself and Secretary of War Pete Hegseth. His departure would leave the Army without a Senate-confirmed leader as the U.S. looks to wrap up its war against Iran that it began alongside Israel nearly 6 months ago. Matt Mattinson, KFI News.
The father of a sailor aboard the USS Abraham Lincoln is now in ICE custody. Border Patrol arrested the guy in Key West, Florida, as his son nears the end of a 9-month deployment in the Middle East. Homeland Security says the man, who is a Nicaraguan immigrant, has lived in the U.S. for 19 years, will remain in custody while the government looks to deport him. His son says learning about his dad's detention while still deployed was heartbreaking. President Trump is threatening to ratchet up the trade war with Canada. He posted online he's planning to increase tariffs on imports of all cars and trucks made in Canada, along with auto parts and steel, to 50%. This comes after the U.S. hiked tariffs on about $20 billion worth of imports from Canada to 50% over the weekend. U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer is downplaying the Canadian reaction.
I think this is a little bit of a tempest in a teapot. The tariffs went into place over the weekend, which we've warned about for a long time. They only cover about 5% of Canadian trade and only 0.06% of U.S. overall consumption.
Prime Minister Carney says Canada will match the new U.S. tariffs dollar for dollar, with details of its response expected early next month. We're going to go to the 91 next.
You know me. I don't do things halfway. If I'm going to host a cruise, it's got to be the right ship and the right itinerary. This is it. Travel Story is sending me aboard Oceania's brand new Allura. It's October 6th to the 15th, 2027. All right? Next October. And it's a beautiful voyage. We're going to go from Rome to Athens. I want you to come. We've done a lot of trips over the years, and they've been really good. And we're going to go to some of the most fascinating destinations in the Mediterranean. Ports in Italy, Malta, Tunisia, the Greek islands. Here's why you're going to love Oceania. This is not a floating amusement park with water slides and gimmicks. It's an adult-focused cruise experience, and it's designed around the destinations, the culture, and the relaxation. Oceania is famous for what they call the finest cuisine at sea. If you love great food, you're going to love this ship. And this is just the right size. The new Allura, and it's only a year old, carries just 1,200 guests. Beautiful accommodations. Every stateroom comes with a private veranda. A limited number of travelers will also have the opportunity to join me for an exclusive VIP experience and special dinners during the voyage. Space is limited. Call Travel Store. Call right now. 800-777-6540 and book it. 800-777-6540. It's for October 2027, Rome to Athens and all the islands and ports in between. Or go to JohnKobyltCruise.com, JohnKobyltCruise.com.
Southline weather from KFI, sunny and even hotter tomorrow. Highs upper 80s to around 100 Metro LA, 101 to 110 in the valleys in the IE, windy in the IE, 90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy, low to mid 80s for the beaches, low 90s inland OC. Right now, 97 in Laguna Woods, and it's also 97 in Rancho Santa Margarita. We have a stall on the 91 Anaheim Hills.
It's still there, eastbound right before the 241, sitting in the middle lane now, I understand. The traffic is stop and go behind it from the 55, so that's probably adding a good half hour to your drive this afternoon. In Fullerton, the 57, southbound before Yorba Linda Boulevard, the wreck is cleared. Traffic still kind of slow from Lambert Road. And in Inglewood, the 405 southbound past the 105. They've cleared that car fire situation away, too, but it's still jammed up from Century Boulevard. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
Listen to this. You hear that? You're not hearing anything, are you? That's my phone. It's quiet. No spam calls, no spam texts. I love the silence. Your phone probably makes a lot of noise because data brokers are selling your personal information like it's on clearance. Your phone number your home address, your email, family members, political affiliations, even where you bank. And the scammers blowing up your phone didn't get lucky. They bought your information, and they keep buying it over and over until you make it stop. I did with Incogni's help. Incogni, I-N-C-O-G-N-I, automatically removes your personal information from hundreds of data brokers and people search sites. Incogni sends the legal removal requests, and they follow up, and they keep monitoring so your information stays off those lists. The scammers can't find you. They can't target you. Get 60% off right now at incogni.com/KFI. 60% off now at incogni.com/KFI.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Running a business is hard enough. Don't make it harder with dozens of apps that don't talk to each other. One for sales, another for inventory, a separate one for accounting. That's software overload. Odoo is the all-in-one platform that replaces them all. CRM, accounting, inventory, e-commerce, HR, fully integrated and easy to use, and built to grow with your business. Thousands have already made the switch. Why not you? Try Odoo for free at odoo.com. That's odoo.com.
If you've been listening to Bill Handel, you've probably heard him talk about Zellman's for years. What's been stopping you from trying it? If it's because you thought we were just another mint, we're not. Go to Zellmans.com. Use code SAVE for 20% off your first order. Zellmans.com.
Sports injuries can keep you off the field, off the court, out of the activities you love. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, fellowship-trained orthopedic sports medicine specialists treat athletes of every level, from weekend warriors to elite competitors. Hoag Orthopedic Institute doctors serve up top-level teams and athletes across the region, and they're the official healthcare and sports medicine partner of the CIF Southern Section, Trinity League, and many top college sports programs across Southern California. They offer the latest innovations in non-surgical treatments and, when needed, minimally invasive surgery designed to get you back faster and safer. And they treat everything from sudden sports injuries or complex orthopedic conditions affecting your knee, shoulder, hip, wrist, ankle, even your back. Hoag builds a personalized treatment plan, proudly physician-owned, accepting most PPO and Medicare insurance plans. Call 800-919-2000, 800-919-2000. Visit HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Help your kid excel in math and love it at Brilliant.org.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
For a free termite inspection, call 800-PACIFIC or visit PacificCoastTermite.com. Restrictions apply.
KFI, AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. More stimulating talk.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6 after 6 o'clock. The podcast, John Kobylt Show on demand. I have a sex story here, but not the sex story that you sent to us, Deborah. That'll be later. Deborah sent a weird sex story to me and Ray and Eric. She does that occasionally. And
wait, sorry. Wait.
Oh, you missed that?
I missed that.
Oh, that's too bad, huh?
So tell me
well, listen to the podcast later.
No, I can't help it when people come in here.
It's live on the iHeartRadio app. I don't know if you heard. I said I have a sex story to do, but it's not the weird one you sent to the three of us guys.
Oh, then this wasn't even worth me getting back
early
my
headphones. Oh, no, this one is.
Oh,
you probably heard this.
Oh.
Before I identify him, in case you haven't heard this, if I told you there's a 46-year-old man and he runs a very successful business that's worth $8.5 billion, and he's filed for divorce, and so he's on the loose, and I tell you he hired a prostitute, what comes to your mind? What kind of prostitute he might have hired?
High-end.
Yeah. Beautiful, high-end call girl like you see in hotel bars.
An escort.
Right? An escort, yes. This guy, Jed York, owner of the 49ers, he was arrested in East Palestine, Ohio, for trying to pay a woman $140 at a trailer park. The owner of the 49ers, a trailer park in Ohio, $140.
Now, I've asked these questions before. Why would somebody like him do this, but you've given me an answer before saying
no, I did not.
Not this guy, but it was you or somebody else. I thought it was
somebody
you
else
that says because they can.
Because
you would think, why he doesn't need to do this stuff. Why?
If I said that was the joke answer. I have no idea. If you're going to do it and you've got his money and you need privacy, right? Because you're Jed York, the owner of the 49ers. This is the stuff you do with the high-end escorts who respect the confidentiality situation, make her sign an NDA or whatever these guys do.
Oh, I know. Also because other women probably wouldn't do the things that these women would do. Some respectable
for $140.
Eric will do it.
No, I would not. Eric has more respect for himself.
What I was gonna say is when you think with the other head, it takes you to some crazy places.
Yeah, it can take you to a dark place, especially if you're not attached. And he responded to an ad on a prostitution website, and he was caught by the Mahoning Valley, Ohio Human Trafficking Task Force, and they arrested him originally for engaging in prostitution, but it was pled down to a disorderly conduct charge and possession of criminal tools. And I wondered what that was when I saw possession of criminal tools. He's with a prostitute. But that was the phone he used. It's a contactor.
Okay.
He owns more than 90% of the 49ers. And he owns a soccer team in the English Premier League worth up to $800 million. And another soccer team in the Scottish Premiership League, valued at $200 million. His family has owned the 49ers going back to 1977. And under his family's ownership, they won the 5 Super Bowls. So he's got a lot of money. He had a wife. I'll get into the divorce, which preceded. When I first saw it, I thought the wife just divorced immediately. Now this has been in the works. And why a guy would go to a trailer park in Ohio?
Did he get any recommendations from Robert Kraft?
That's right. well,
he was at a massage parlor
in a strip mall in
Orchids of Asia.
It's so those are the details you remember,
of course.
Orchids of Asia. So, I forgot. That's almost the same situation here.
Basically.
Yeah, really. So what is it? I mean, plus they could have, when you're worth $8.5 billion, you can have every available woman in the world and a lot of them that are unavailable.
I bet you it's a power dynamic.
Yeah, I guess. And probably, I mean, it's not like he's a famous owner. I mean, San Francisco he is, but in East Palestine, Ohio, the lady in the trailer park's not going to know who he is.
I wouldn't have been able to pick him out of a lineup.
They have 2 kids, Jackson and Brixton. So he filed for divorce from his wife, Danielle Billumini, just a few months ago. And he asked for divorce for over irreconcilable differences. Maybe him going to prostitutes might have been the irreconcilable difference. They'd been married 15 years. Sunday morning at 9:35 in Ohio. The man should have been at church. And, he for $140, it does not say what she was willing to do.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that.
You were?
Just curious.
Why were you so interested?
Just it's part of the story.
I mean, I get on her end, East Palestine, that sounds like a lot of money. Okay. I would have thought it's like $50 in East Palestine, but $140.
That's really not that much. I don't know. I don't know that world.
It's probably top end for East Palestine.
I wouldn't know.
She might have been the homecoming queen 20 years ago in East Palestine.
Okay.
And now she's in a trailer, and what are you going to do?
Right.
You do what you do before all your looks fade. And then there's...
Jeez.
Look, the world is harsh. I just describe it.
Guys lose their looks too.
Huh? Yeah, but women don't care.
As long as they have a lot of money.
It's when guys lose their money.
Yes.
Then the woman's out the door.
That's very true.
In about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say this on the air.
Oh, come on.
No,
come on.
I will come and visit you privately.
Okay, fine.
Because I had some extensive thoughts about all this over the weekend, but
Did you talk to your best friend? Chat GPT?
No. This was not. Okay. This was not. I don't go to him for those things.
Okay.
All right. We've got more coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A fire that destroyed 7 businesses in Old Town Newhall is out. Orange County prosecutors announced a $100 million damage claim program for residents of Garden Grove and businesses that were harmed by a chemical leak. We'll have more at the top of the hour, going to the 4:05 next.
GiveMeTheVIN.com. This summer, you can sell your car in a hot minute. Enter your VIN number and get an offer fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com. Their offer, if Give Me the VIN cannot beat CarMax, they're going to pay you $100. GiveMeTheVIN.com will get you your check on the spot. Easy, fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hotter tomorrow. Highs upper 80s to around 100 for Metro LA. 101 to 110 in the valleys in the IE. Windy in the IE. 90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy. Low to mid 80s for the beaches. Low 90s inland OC. Right now, it is actually, we're going to go to a stall on the 405 in West LA.
It's on the northbound side, right past Wilshire Boulevard. A stall broken down there. It's over on the shoulder, but boy, traffic is heavy from Santa Monica Boulevard. In Bloomington, the 10 eastbound before Cedar, got a wreck in the right lane. You stop and go from Haven. It's an overturned vehicle. And in San Bernardino, the 210 eastbound before Del Rosa, only the middle lane is open because of a crash. You're stopped from the 215 freeway. Looks like an extra hour of driving. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
This is Doug Gottlieb. Here's what's trending from the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com.
The Browns named Deshaun Watson as their starting quarterback, and he's promptly apologized for his negative comments this weekend about the Cleveland fans that booed him Saturday in their loss to the Bills. Lane Kiffin's departure from Ole Miss to LSU brought fears of espionage by his former employer. The head of the Rebels NIL collective says the FBI swept the football offices for recording devices. I'm Frank Aaron.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart. This report is sponsored by Amazon Autos. Add car to cart.
Picture this. You're on magician duty at your kid's birthday, and it's also car shopping day. Sounds tough, right? Not with Amazon Autos. Shop for your car online, pick it up at the dealership, so you can get back to making magic. Visit Amazon.com/autos.
Something big is coming. On September 2nd, DraftKings Game Day arrives with massive deals, exclusive deals, and an all-day celebration built for sports fans. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in all 50 states. Yep, that means you, California. One app, every sport, all 50 states. DraftKings Game Day is yours. Remember the date, September 2nd. DraftKings Game Day is the kickoff of a new season, a new era, and the biggest day in sports history. New DraftKings customers, sign up with code AM640. Spend $5 to get $200 in rewards within 21 days. That's code AM640 in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss. Market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click-to-claim issued in non-withdrawable predictions dollars that expire in 1 year. Terms at dkng.co/predictions promo. Nationwide based on sportsbook predictions and free-to-play sports contest availability. Varies by state.
If you live within 45 miles of the Eden Fire in Altadena, your home may have been affected and you may qualify for compensation. Call 855-LA-FIRE-0. That's 855-LA-FIRE-0.
Back to school is almost here. With iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, your business can support local educators, connect with families, and be part of a message your next customers already care about. Get your business into the back-to-school conversation today. Visit iHeartAdvertising.com.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age. making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
When I hit my 50s, I felt like things were slowing down.
This is Sandra's Metamucil story.
I started taking Metamucil for digestion, but had no idea it would impact so much more. Not only did Metamucil help me feel more regular, but my heart health saw the benefits too.
Metamucil, one simple routine, 4 health benefits. Digestive health starts here. Go to Metamucil.com for more details.
Silver is no longer just a commodity. It's a strategic resource. Demand is up and supply is tight. Experts expect prices to soar. Visit LearCapital.com for your free silver report. LearCapital.com. That's LearCapital.com.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, don't you hate it when your boomer neighbors light up a joint? Well, neighbors are tired of smelling that pot every day. It's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 on the next Bill Handel Show, man.
Public pot stink is something I'm about to explode about too. Ran into it getting off the elevator in the garage. You ever run into that in the garage here? I don't know who's doing this stuff, but coming out of the elevator, you get whacked in the face with a big cloud of pot, and it's all over. It's in parks. It's walking down the sidewalk.
No, I do smell it when I go downstairs a lot of times after work.
Who's doing that?
I don't know.
I'm going to start an investigation.
But I really don't appreciate the smell when I'm leaving work.
I can't stand the smell.
I hate it.
I don't care at all about people smoking pot. But in public places,
I do when I see them driving on the freeway.
I got a story. I haven't read it yet, but the pot's supposed to be, you've probably done stories on this. Pot's supposed to be much, much stronger and addictive now than ever before. And I was telling you, it just seems like half the people I deal with in a public setting, especially clerks at stores, are completely zonked out. Like everybody's just staring and they're making no sense. And anyway, we've got Royal Oaks coming on in just a few minutes. 2 Trump stories, which we covered last week, because the Chief Justice John Roberts is temporarily given Trump the go-ahead to keep building that stupid ballroom. Although it's not a formal position on the ballroom, but what he did is he reversed the lower court that was blocking it. It seems from what I've been reading, we're going to talk with Royal Oaks, that Trump is trying to get this thing built before judges can stop it. And secondly, the Postal Service has new rules to add to verification requirements to mail-in ballots. And the Supreme Court has allowed Trump and his plan to regulate the use of mail ballots, but not block. All this stuff will be covered with Royal Oaks, and whether it'll have an effect on this fall's election, I don't know. Next hour, also, we're going to talk about Ashley Zavala, Channel 3 reporter, who covers Sacramento and what they do to us in Sacramento, because every single reporter and producer and writer and editor here in Los Angeles refuses to cover all the horrible things that Sacramento politicians are doing to us. Every one of them. They just refuse. But Ashley, it's her full-time job. She's the political director for Channel 3 up there in Sacramento. And she put out, and I'd never seen her do this before, put out a video on what it's been like in her life in the last week, because there has been a huge blowback against this stupid tire regulation that the California Energy Commission passed, so that 70% of the tires we drive on are now banned within the next few years. And it looks like, and you just never know where this stuff is coming from. I even get surprised from time to time. Just the certain stories, I don't know why, burst through. And when we played the Moist Line calls, especially the first round on Friday, most of the calls were about the tires. And the thing is, the tires, this story is really bad because we're going to all have to pay hundreds of dollars more for these new tires if this rule remains in effect. But that's only a small piece of the damage they've done to us. Look at the freaking gas prices. This is what fries me. The gas prices are $1.50 to $2 more because of the regulations from the government. And then they pass a tire regulation and claim, well, if you get these tires, it'll save you a few cents a gallon or, a couple miles per gallon. And I don't believe it, but even if it's true, it nowhere near makes up for the cost of gasoline because of all your other regulations. I hate these people. I absolutely hate these people. These legislators, the governor, these regulators of these commissions, unelected, can't get rid of them, all appointed by Newsom, and they steal enormous amounts of money and make our lives miserable with the regulations. And it just never, ever, ever seems to stop because most people are not paying any attention at all. And I don't know why. Well, I know why. It's scrolling. TikTok zombies. So we're going to talk with Royal Oaks about the Trump stuff, and then I got a lot on Ashley Zavala here, and we'll get into all this because maybe I'm looking for a tipping point. I'm looking for a backlash. I'm looking to see what does it take before people finally have the big rebellion. And I'm not looking for riots in the street. I don't have Chirla money. I can't start a riot like Chirla can. But geez, just go and vote. I mean, we're probably, I don't know, 5-6 weeks. What would it be? About 6 weeks away from the ballots coming to your mailbox. That's 6 weeks to wake, you should try to wake everybody you know up to what's going on. Deborah Mark is now live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Historic building destroyed. I'm Deborah Mark live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A fire that destroyed 7 businesses in Old Town Newhall is out. More than 100 firefighters battled the early morning fire at a historic building that housed the Newhall refinery, restaurant, a theater, and an auto body shop where it was thought the fire may have started. LA County Fire Captain Eric Caton tells KTLA it was an older building with a common attic.
Once it got up into that attic and started to run, that really it made a difficult operation for our firefighters. And ultimately, yes, those 7 were lost.
Officials in Nevada say more than 15,000 acres have been burned by the Hawk Fire. It's burning in the Reno area. And Chief Richard Edwards with the Truckee Meadows Fire Protection District says it's now 27% surrounded.
We do know that the fire was human caused. We do not know if it was intentional or unintentional. And so the investigators are still working through that right now. More than likely, this fire will be classified as undetermined.
He says they have hotshot crews and hand crews working the more rugged west and north side of the fire. The LAPD is responding to claims from people trying to rebuild their homes in the Palisades that crime is an issue and police patrols have been cut.
Morgan Goldberg is rebuilding her home in the Pacific Palisades, and last week she told KFI that stuff is being stolen from construction sites, and her senior lead officer at the LAPD basically told homeowners to hire private security. And also,
they took away 50% of our patrol force.
The LAPD responded to her claims today, saying patrols have not been cut in half. One car is dedicated to the area and in the area at all times, and that car deals with the lowest number of crime calls in the city. They also say a couple of months ago, there was an increase in construction theft, but that's gone down. Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
Former members of the Compton and Baldwin Park City Councils have each been sentenced to 1 year and 6 months in prison for their roles in separate bribery schemes. Isaac Galvin of the Compton City Council has pleaded guilty to bribing Ricardo Pacheco, who was a Baldwin Park Council member, with $70,000 for marijuana permits. Galvin paid the bribes in return for Pacheco's political support and promised to deliver Baldwin Park's approval of those permits. Orange County prosecutors have announced a $100 million damage claim program for Garden Grove residents and businesses harmed by a chemical leak in May.
The money will be used to reimburse residents for expenses such as hotel stays and compensation for meals, transportation, and loss of wages.
Well, I think it's a welcome start.
That's Garden Grove Mayor Stephanie Klopfenstein.
This is something that my council colleagues and I have been asking for quite some time. It's a part of our ask for greater accountability and transparency with those affected by, obviously, this incident.
The DA's office says the claims program will be administered by an independent third party not affiliated with plant owner GKN Aerospace. Mark Ronner, KFI News.
Complaints have been filed against the top staffer for a state lawmaker over a stunt targeting an independent journalist.
Jerry Shands is the chief of staff to Democratic Assemblywoman Tina McKenna from Inglewood. He was caught on video making manhood jokes about journalist Nick Shirley. The joke was in response to the Stop Nick Shirley Act, which critics say strips away the ability for journalists to uncover fraud in the state. Shands held up a sign during the confrontation and tried poking fun at the size of Shirley's genitals, and now there are reports that say that several complaints have been filed with the HR department of the California legislature. Jason Campidonia, KFI News.
The Supreme Court has cleared the way for President Trump's mail voting order in advance of the midterms in November. The justices have approved a request by the Justice Department to put on hold an injunction imposed in June by a judge in Boston that blocked Trump from going ahead with his executive order directing Homeland Security to make a list of U.S. citizens eligible to vote and prosecuting election officials who give ballots to people not eligible to vote. The defense lawyer for a woman charged with killing her 3 kids has lost a move for a mistrial. ABC's Peter Harlambu says it's the 19th day of testimony in the murder trial of Lindsay Clancy.
An expert witness called by prosecutors attempted to link Lindsay Clancy's Catholic faith to her motivation for killing her 3 children. The judge overseeing the case denied the motion, but sternly instructed jurors to ignore any testimony about Clancy's faith.
Her lawyer claims she had an episode of postpartum psychosis. Closing arguments are scheduled for Wednesday. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney says despite Canada and the U.S. making progress in recent weeks, Canada will retaliate for President Trump's 50% tariffs on certain goods. Carney says they could not accept what the U.S. had offered, nor could it give what the Trump administration asked for.
This fall, we will begin intense discussions with the European Union, the world's second largest economy, to build a much stronger and deeper economic and security partnership.
And the Trump administration says the economic D-Day for Iran has begun. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent announced measures aimed to block all potential sources of revenue for Iran.
Beginning today, the actions of Treasury and other agencies will tighten the noose and block every potential source of revenue that funds the IRGC and the evil Iranian regime.
Bessent also threatened countries that do business with Tehran with what he called the same economic isolation that Iran will face. Heading over to the 10 next.
Infinity Bank. When it comes to banking, are all of your eggs in one basket? So what happens when your card doesn't work and you have to look at the back of the card to find the 800 number? What happens if your wallet is stolen? Who's going to be that reliable source when you need money or new cards or assurance that your money is safe? You wouldn't have to worry about that with Infinity Bank. You call Victor Guerrero, the president, and set up a new account today. You call 657-223-1000, 657-223-1000. He opened an account for me. And for a limited time only, they've got one of the best rates in the U.S. with the money market savings account at Infinity Bank. Infinity Bank.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hotter tomorrow. Highs upper 80s to around 100. Metro LA 101 to 110 in the valleys in the IE. Windy for the IE. 90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy there. Low to mid 80s at the beaches. Low 90s for inland OC. Right now 93 in Tustin. It's 80 in Laguna Beach. 101 in Chatsworth. It's 102 in Van Nuys. The KFI financial update. The Dow closed up 140. S&P 500 down 22 and NASDAQ down 200. Stall on the 10 in Monterey Park.
Eastbound 10, right before the 710, that's a broken down car in the middle lane. Stop and go traffic from Eastern, delaying you a little bit. In Ontario on the 10, eastbound before Euclid, got a broken down car in the right lane. That has things held up from the 57. Bloomington, the trouble on the 10, eastbound before Cedar. That's a crash, blocking the right lane, slowing you from the 15. Overturned vehicle involved in that one. In Anaheim Hills, 91 freeway, eastbound before the 241. Had a middle lane blockage with a stake bed truck that apparently had the brakes locked up, so it's pretty tough to get it out of the way. It's really got things backed up from around the 55 freeway. Other trouble for the 91 eastbound at Weir Canyon. They've cleared that crash out of the way. Crash in San Bernardino, 210 eastbound before Del Rosa Avenue. Only the middle lane is open. It's got you stopped from the 215. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
Every day, Californians work hard to build a better future. They deserve leaders who work just as hard for them, not for special interests. In the Assembly, Juan Carrillo is delivering solutions for the high desert, building more affordable housing, investing in good-paying jobs, and lowering costs for hardworking families. Because California deserves problem solvers who deliver real solutions on the issues that matter most. Paid for by Grow California.
Want up to $25,000 in free silver? When you make a qualifying purchase through Golden Crest Metals, you can receive up to $25,000 in real silver added to your account. Call 888-447-7857 now for your free information kit. That's 888-447-7857. Again, call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offer is a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium mintage coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped at $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Hey, it's Conway here for Cars for Kids. We've donated 2 vehicles to Cars for Kids, and man, was it easy. Cars for Kids has been around for 30 years, and they know what they're doing. I recently saw firsthand one of their summer programs going on right now where they have over 1,400 kids. I saw hundreds of kids in the camp, and they couldn't thank Cars for Kids enough for making this incredible opportunity possible. So when you donate a car, you're helping real kids thrive this summer. CarsForKids.org. 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K.
KFI AM 640. An iHeartRadio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. It's the John Kobylt Show. We're on from 3 to 6. After 6, John Kobylt Show on demand. That's the podcast. So if you missed the first hour, right, you can make it up after the show is over at 6. We're live on YouTube, live on X, and you can subscribe or become a member at youtube.com/@JohnKobyltShow. Now, we're going to talk with the Royal Oaks about those 2 items I mentioned in the last segment. We spoke with him about them in the last week. Trump makes the Supreme Court work through the summer with all kinds of stuff. And the first story is this story seems to drive a lot of people crazy, and I don't know why. I very rarely do stories that I don't care about. And I don't care about this one, but it seems to consume a lot of people, their attention and their emotions. And I'm trying to, get a handle on this. The Chief Justice, John Roberts, has, for the moment, blocked a lower court order that had stopped the ballroom project about Trump's ballroom. So this lower court had halted the above ground construction. Well, John Roberts eliminated that halt. And so I guess they could start continuing to construct. Let's get Royal Oaks on.
Hey, John, you're exactly right. And yeah, people do get their knickers in a twist, although I don't think people wear knickers too much anymore. But the background is this. Trump started to demolish the East Wing. Then the National Trust sued, saying, oh, no, only Congress can decide to tear down a federal building. So Trump loses in the trial court and the appeals court, but the Supreme Court takes it up. And just now, as you're reporting, Chief Justice Roberts gave a partial win to Trump by saying, look, let the ballroom construction continue pending our full evaluation of this. But, John, it's 2/3 built already. By the time they fully evaluated briefs and oral argument, think about it, issue an opinion, it's going to be complete. This is going to be ribbon cutting that nobody thinks that the Supreme Court is going to say, let the wrecking ball swing. Donald Trump had no right to do this. We're going to destroy the entire new ballroom. He's got the argument that it's connected with the bunker underneath, 60 feet down. It can withstand a nuclear blast. So I think Trump is going to win eventually on this completely, but for now it's a partial win.
The argument is that Trump didn't have the authority to do this. Congress is supposed to approve of this construction?
Exactly right. The idea is, well, Nancy Reagan can bring in some new china, Melania can redecorate a little bit, but they can't demolish the East Wing of the White House. That, under statutory law, is only the province of Congress. Well, if it were that clear, I think the Supreme Court at this point would have said, whoa, it's already 2/3 done. This is 100% illegal. So stop the construction. For Chief Justice Roberts to go ahead and say, let it go. I mean, as you know, some of the liberal decisions out of the Supreme Court, whether it's, no tariffs, or no birthright citizenship, it's because Roberts has joined the three liberals plus one or two other conservatives. For Roberts to come out here and say, let the crane continue working, I think that they're going to finish the ballroom. And again, it's tied in with the drone proof and the bomb proof bunker underneath the East Wing.
You would think that the language would be really clear on who can touch the White House or not. I'm just surprised that it's murky, but I guess a lot of legal stuff is murky, isn't it?
Yeah, just remember, it's politicians writing these laws, so don't expect clarity every time.
They're not very bright. Now, the other story, and maybe you can explain this, the U.S. Postal Service has issued a new rule for mail-in ballots, and this thing also has made its way to the Supreme Court, or will. Can you run through this? What is this? Because this has to do with it could have to do with these November elections and how the mail ballots are regulated. Can you go into the details here?
Yeah, it's actually kind of similar to the other story about the ballroom in this sense. Donald Trump had a March executive order, and he said, I want the post office to get a list of every single voter, name, address, a unique barcode number attached to the ballot envelope. So if a number shows up twice, if a ballot comes back, it was never sent out, or hundreds of ballots show up when, there are only dozens of people who live there, we're going to get the fraud going. We're going to stop the fraud. So the lower courts were against Trump. They stopped it. They issued an injunction because they said, again, the president can't rewrite the rules. Congress governs federal elections. But now what's happening here is that the U.S. Supreme Court in a 6-3 vote today said, yeah, this post office plan is pretty good. We want to make sure that there's no fraud in elections. So it's allowed to continue. But here's the deal, John. It has to be implemented immediately because, the November midterms, they're starting early voting in about a week, and then another state or two a week after that. By late September, you're going to have maybe millions of early votes being cast, and you have to have the rules clearly in place. You can't have one rule in early September and a different one in late October. So I think the Supreme Court is probably going to take further steps to clarify that, yes, this post office plan will go forward and will crack down on voter fraud.
So it's about the states sending the Postal Service a list of eligible voters that they're going to send a mail-in ballot to.
Exactly right. So the post office has developed a national database of every citizen who's registered to vote. Everybody gets their own barcode. And if it looks flaky, at first Trump wanted the post office to have the authority to just pick up a ballot and say, oh, this obviously is crooked, and just toss it away. Well, they didn't adopt that. The post office in the last day or two came out with this new plan saying, if we see anything that looks flaky, if there are 100,000 ballots coming in a zip code and only 50,000 people live in the zip code, they're going to get on a hotline to the FBI, and the FBI will look into it. That's essentially what the executive order is doing. The problem is, the early voting starts, as they say, in a week or two. So we better know what the rules are quickly, or else it's just going to be for future elections.
Roy Oaks, thank you for all these explanations. He's really good at taking complex legal issues and simplifying them so people like me can understand. When we come back, the big story of last week is still a big story this week, and that is the California Energy Commission banning 70% of the tires that we're all currently driving on. Within a few years, you won't be able to buy them anymore, and you will be spending a lot more money for them. And a lot of people are really angry. And Ashley Zavala, we're going to play you a video that she put out, what it's been like covering a tire regulation story. which is the last thing she thought would become this controversial. And we also have a clip from the chairman of the California Energy Commission, David Hochschild. Boy, is this an arrogant bastard. This is all good for us. We should just trust him and the other experts. That's next. Coming up, Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here's the latest. Southern California is gearing up for the biggest temperature spike of the summer. A lawmaker in California is calling for the members of the State Energy Commission to step down. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour. We're going to check the freeways next.
They say time heals all wounds, and the accident attorneys at Sweet James know that's only partly true. When you're hurt in an accident, you should know the legal system is rigged. Everything's rigged. You need someone who knows that system inside and out with the level of experience and care to fight for you when billion-dollar insurance companies refuse to help. Don't fight alone. The attorneys at Sweet James will walk beside you and tell your story and make them listen. They deliver results that send the insurance companies a message and help you get the maximum compensation and the justice you deserve. So if you're hurt in a car, a truck, a motorcycle accident, you call your accident attorneys at Sweet James, and you pay no costs or fees until they win. With an office in L.A., call 800-9-MILLION, 800-9-MILLION, sweetjames.com. You can call them immediately. Oh, by the way, call them immediately as soon as it happens. That's really important. Don't let any time go by. Don't let the other people call first. 800-9-MILLION, with an office in Los Angeles, sweetjames.com.
From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 10 in Bloomington.
Right before Cedar Avenue, the two right lanes are blocked and traffic is heavy from Cherry Avenue. It's probably adding a half an hour or so to your drive. It's an overturned vehicle. It's getting a lot of attention. In Monterey Park on the 10, eastbound before the 710, stall in the middle lane, stop and go from Eastern Avenue. And on the 91 freeway, eastbound before the 241, and a broken down car that was in the middle lane, some other vehicles along the way as well. Things are really heavy, eastbound 91 from the 55. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
This is Sarah Spain with the latest from iHeart Women's Sports. Presented by iHeartAdvertising.com. The Toronto Tempo announced on Sunday that guard Brittany Sykes and forward Anissa Mora will both miss the remainder of the WNBA season following injuries sustained in the team's game versus the Portland Fire on Friday. Sykes sustained a left foot injury, while Morrow suffered a left knee injury. Neither will need surgery, but neither will return before the season ends. For more women's sports stories, subscribe to Good Game with Sarah Spain on iHeart Podcasts.
Run a business and not thinking about radio? Think again, because people are listening to radio more today than they did 20 years ago. And only iHeartRadio connects with more Americans than TV, digital, even social. Learn how radio can help your business. Call 844-844-iHeart. This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. If you work in logistics, you know nothing moves without you. Companies need skilled people now, and Express Employment Professionals can help you find contract or full-time work that fits at no cost to you. Visit ExpressPros.com. Get support, get options, and get to work.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
Have you been avoiding shorts or swimsuits because of painful varicose or embarrassing spider veins? Is that how you want to live? West Medical can help. Treatments may be covered by most PPO insurance plans, including Anthem Blue Cross, Aetna, Cigna, United Healthcare, and more. Don't ignore leg pain, swelling, or bulging veins. Call 1-800-WEST Medical for your free consultation or visit westmedical.com today. Isn't it time to feel incredible?
Feel incredible. 1-800-WEST Medical.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Call 1-800-GO-AMCO today.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a new iHeart podcast. Real-life drama with real-life consequences and advice that might just save the day. Hear it now on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
The kids are headed back to class, but termites? They've been busy all summer, eating, breeding, and damaging your home 24/7. If you haven't had a termite inspection in 3 years or you've seen termite droppings, call Pacific Coast Termite at 800-PACIFIC for a free inspection. And if you need treatment, Pacific Coast Termite uses orange oil and Ultraset, so there's no move out, no tent, no poisonous gas. Termites didn't take the summer off. Call 800-PACIFIC. That's 800-PACIFIC. PacificCoastTermite.com. Some restrictions apply.
The countdown to the new NFL season is on.
And now, all 32 in-market local teams can be heard on the free iHeartRadio app.
He's in! That's a Jet touchdown! Just open the app and search your favorite team.
Plus, Fox Sports Radio breaks it all down.
As we get closer to week 1. It's crazy, and it's fun.
Join the conversation and stay locked in. Live, local games with you all season long.
Download the iHeartRadio app.
Search NFL and press play.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
California's political divide isn't just based on ideology. Geography also plays a big role. One expert says you'll know which voters you're around, whether you smell salt water or dust. The results of this perhaps not so surprising new study tomorrow on Monks and Merrill, starting at noon on KFI.
KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. Follow us at John Kobylt Radio on social media. Live on YouTube, live on X right now. Okay. The tire story. This is really taken on a life of its own. Sometimes things come out of left field. I'm going to play you a little clip of Ash. Well, it's actually about 3 minutes plus. But listen to this. It'll give you insight how these bastards operate in Sacramento. KCRA, Ashley Zavala from Channel 3, she broke the story. California Energy Commission is issuing new tire regulations. It makes 70% of our tires basically illegal. In about 2 years, you won't be able to buy 70% of the tires. Be illegal to sell them. These are replacement tires that you put on your car. And they're going to cost you hundreds of dollars, and it's supposed to be energy saving or some such nonsense. She's the only reporter who covered it. Public meeting, and nobody here in Los Angeles covered it. None of the television stations, none of the newspapers, no media at all. And nobody else in the state except for Ashley. And the thing has blown up, and the California Energy Commission is getting pounded. And like I said, we played the voice line, and it was one after another call of people yelling about these tires now being banned, and the replacements are going to be more expensive. Listen to her social media post.
I was the only reporter in the hearing room when the California Energy Commission voted on new state rules around tires. I had no idea this would gain so much traction and cause so much tension. The state is pushing tire makers and sellers to start providing more energy efficient tires in California. The first phase starts in 2029 and then gets stricter in 2033. Goodyear is the largest tire maker in the United States. The company has said that by 2033, 70% of the tires currently sold in California would essentially be banned. While the commission says these new energy efficiency standards will save people money at the gas pump or with their electricity if they drive an EV, the tire manufacturers say this will significantly add costs. The California Energy Commission didn't directly advise journalists that this vote was happening. There was nothing posted on their social media giving anyone a heads up. I was tipped off about the vote by some state lawmakers and some people in the tire industry a couple of weeks before the hearing was going to happen. The discussion on this started just a little bit after lunchtime. The commission ended up taking about 2.5 hours of public comment. Tire manufacturers were pretty much split. Many of them said that they were in favor of making tires more efficient generally, but all of them had concerns about specific aspects of the way that this rule might work. Meanwhile, environmental groups and health groups, they were all in support. After the vote, I did an interview with a representative with Goodyear to get their reaction to the vote. Goodyear did have a representative show up in person. As our crew was leaving, Commissioner Nancy Skinner actually chased me down and offered an interview to talk about what had just happened. I thought, great, and she answered all of my questions.
Is there a backup plan if the California Energy Commission's expectations around cost savings aren't met with this rule?
Well, we're committed to doing this right. We are only doing it because we know it will save Californians money. So we're going to monitor. We're going to do on our enforcement well. We have decades of experience with this. We have appliance standards that are saving Californians money every day.
After we broadcasted the story on TV and published it online, I had no idea that it would get millions of views. And I never expected that Joe Rogan would be reading this story out loud on his show. What I also didn't expect was the reaction we got from the California Energy Commission's chief spokesperson. More than 24 hours after the story was published online, millions of views later, 2 minutes before 5 o'clock that next day, the spokesperson sent me an email and said, quote, that she urged me to consider changing my tone with how I was reporting this story and claimed some of what we were saying was misleading, particularly on the claim that 70% of tires currently sold in California would be eliminated with this new rule. None of the commissioners have disputed that number. None of our current state lawmakers voted for this, neither did Governor Gavin Newsom, but the governor did say this week that he thinks it was a good choice.
It'd be wise to take advantage of new efficient tires, lower your cost at the pump. And that was borne out in a lot of public testimony. This has been a process over 2+ years. They've been working on this. I think last year there was some effort to move forward. They worked with the tire manufacturers. The vast majority came on board. One did not. One notable one did not.
Again, this rule doesn't start until 2029, and California's government will have new leaders by then. A lot could change. In the meantime, the California Energy Commission has vowed to work with tire makers to do what they say is the goal of ensuring that people save money.
So many things there. Goodyear, Newsom says there was one notable exception. Goodyear is 50% of the market. The tire company with 50% of the market says 70% of the tires are going to be obsolete, and it's going to cost a significant amount of money. I'll go with the company that has half the market, that they're telling the truth, not Newsom. You notice, Ashley Zavala said there was no notification about the vote. That's why no one else showed up. Not that they would, even if they got notified. Not the lazy asses in this television market. Newsom, he starts talking about how, well, this is going to save you some money on gas. His taxes, his regulations make gas cost $1.50 to $2 more than any other state in the union. It's $1.50 to $2 more whether there's an Iran war or not. It's the same spread. And it's all his regulations and taxes. And now he says, well, if you spend even more money, you'll save a few cents of your gas costs. Shameless. Absolutely shameless. And that troll, the goblin, Nancy Skinner, is talking about the other appliances that they regulate, like a hairdryer. A hairdryer. As if a hairdryer has anything to do with an automobile tire. Well, we regulate hairdryer. They're insane. And they tried to keep this a secret. They tried to sneak it through. Had Ashley Zavala not had the sources that she had, which is what all reporters should have here in Los Angeles, but they have none. They have zero. If she didn't have those sources, she wouldn't have got wind of this. Never would have published the story or done the TV report, and we wouldn't know about it. Now, when we come back, she talked with the California Energy Commission Chair, David Hochschild. Listen to this guy. The condescension just drips. More coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
It is hot in Southern California, and it is about to get even hotter.
Tomorrow, we're expecting a step up.
We're in a heat advisory right now, says meteorologist Mike Walford with the National Weather Service, but that's about to change into a more intense extreme heat warning.
At least 2 to 5 degrees of warming.
And he says, yeah, it's generally hot this time of year, but this isn't normal.
When you're talking about 110 in the valleys or higher, or 100 downtown, that's another level.
The high heat is expected to stick around through Thursday, cooling off a little this weekend and cooler still next week. Jason Nathanson, KFI News.
A man who allegedly shot and killed 3 people in an apartment in Hollywood has pleaded not guilty to murder charges. The guy who was released from the Washington State Department of Corrections in 2022 after serving 17 years for murder is charged with the 3 killings in July. The LAPD says officers doing a welfare check found the bodies of the 3 in the apartment. Pasadena Humane says Sugar, the white peacock allegedly hit by a U.S. Postal Service worker last week, is continuing to recover from his injuries and has a good prognosis. The bird was checked out by a veterinarian and was found to have swelling and several minor injuries, but x-rays have shown no broken bones. Pasadena Humane says its animal control team is looking for additional video footage from neighbors. New groundwater treatment facilities have been opened in North Hollywood. LA Mayor Bass says the state-of-the-art facilities will help restore up to 43 million gallons of contaminated groundwater into reliable drinking water for hundreds of thousands of homes. And she says it will help reduce LA's dependence on imported water. A lawmaker in California is calling for the members of the State Energy Commission to step down.
I have a big problem with these unaccountable boards and agencies.
State Senator Tony Strickland from Huntington Beach.
These are commissioners that make 6-figure salaries for showing up once a month.
Strickland says Democrats and Republicans both say that California is too expensive, but now there's mandates on what tires Californians can buy.
That just shows to me that they're tone deaf. Hardworking Californian families can't afford these mandates.
He says there's not much voters can do about it.
It should come back to the legislature and we should have veto power. These folks don't represent anybody and former nonprofit leaders, and they have their own agenda.
Jason Campidonia, KFI News.
We're going to the 134 next.
GiveMeTheVIN.com. This summer, you can sell your car in a hot minute. You ought to try it. Enter your VIN number and get an offer fast. If GiveMeTheVIN.com's offer cannot beat CarMax, they will pay you $100. GiveMeTheVIN.com will get you your check on the spot. Easy, fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI. Sunny and hotter tomorrow. Highs upper 80s to around 100 Metro LA. 101 to 110 in the valleys in the IE. Windy in the IE. 90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy. Low to mid 80s for the beaches. Low 90s for inland OC. Right now, 89 in San Juan Capistrano and 90 in Staten. Crash on the 134 in Burbank.
It's westbound at Pass Avenue. 3 lanes are blocked there, so expect some slowing getting through the westbound 134. On the 110 southbound before Adams, disabled vehicle broken down in the middle lane. You're slow from the 10. And in Santa Fe Springs on the 605 freeway, southbound past Slauson, there's a wreck blocking the carpool and left lanes. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
There's still time for one more home upgrade this summer. For this month of August, American Vision Windows wants to help you finish your home projects soon. Pick any 2 of their most popular offers. Listen to this. Either free expert installation, a free sound package, a free upgrade to Sun Matrix, or they'll pay you tax, or no interest, no payments for 18 months. Pick 2 on that list, and you get stunning energy-efficient windows. You'll be more comfortable. Your house will look great, and your energy bills will be lower, and that'll go on every year. With over 1 million windows installed, American Vision Windows has earned the trust of homeowners across California. New customers only. Restrictions apply. Call or see the website for details. Offer ends August 31st of this year. The website, AmericanVisionWindows.com, or call 888-771-2188. 888-771-2188.
After an accident, one question comes to mind. What happens next? Wilshire Law Firm brings clarity when things feel uncertain. While you focus on healing, we fight for the compensation you deserve. That's what happens next. Call now. 1-800-ABCDEFG. Wilshire Law Firm is in LA.
You've heard Bill Handel and the entire morning crew talking about why they love and use Zellman's. And while you've been listening to Bill, we've sold more than 20 million capsules to people just like you. I'm Anthony, founder of Zellman's Minty Mouth. I love eating spicy and smelly foods and got tired of my wife complaining about my breath. That's why we created Zellman's, the breath mint for grown-ups. to target the smells from what you eat and drink that contribute to bad breath throughout the day. With Zellman's, you don't have to worry about what your mouth tastes like or how your breath smells after coffee, lunch, drinks, or a night out. It's not a gum, it's not a mint. It's the solution you didn't know you've been looking for. Now it's your turn to discover the Zellman's difference, backed by 100% love us or your money back guarantee. I've created a special offer for new customers. Go to Zellmans.com, ZELMINS.com, use code SAVE for 20% off your first order. ZELMINS.com, use code SAVE for 20% off your first order.
Free shouldn't come with a catch. With iHeartRadio, it doesn't. No monthly fees, no trial periods. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the free iHeartRadio app now.
If you run a business, you know the value of trust. It's what keeps your customers coming back. And it's what you get when you advertise with iHeart. More than 75% of listeners consider iHeart hosts their friends and trust their recommendations. Now take that trusted influence and combine it with iHeart's massive reach and scale, and you've got the formula for growing your business. Learn how easy it is to tell your story through our voices today at iHeartAdvertising.com. That's iHeartAdvertising.com.
Help your kid excel in math and love it at Brilliant.org.
Affected by the Eaton fire? Call 855-LA-FIRE-0 today.
Thanks to you, we're helping teachers bring more opportunities, creativity, and learning into their classrooms every day. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose, making a real difference for teachers and students. And we're not done yet. Keep listening as we get ready to recognize and reward some truly inspiring educators. Celebrate this year's incredible teachers and the difference they're making at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
When something happens in the KFI studios, check it out on our socials at KFI AM 640 before somebody makes us take it down.
KFI AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. Our 16th annual iHeartRadio Music Festival presented by Capital One is back September 18th and 19th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas. 2 nights, 1 stage, live performances by BTS, Benson Boone, Cardi B, Goo Goo Dolls, Kenny Chesney, and many others. Tickets are still available. Going fast, though. Get them before they're gone at AXS.com. AXS.com. John Kobylt Show. We're in the middle of more information on this ridiculous tire regulation story that Ashley Zavala broke Channel 3 in Sacramento. So the California Energy Commission wants to, they declared 70% of the tires no good anymore. Next time you buy replacements, you're going to have to follow their regulations. It has to do with tire resistance. And they say it'll save you some gas. Nobody believes that. It will cost you a lot more money. Goodyear says that this regulation is no good, and they have 50% of the market. Newsom, as usual, is lying his ass off. This is Ashley Zavala talking to the California Energy Commission Chair, David Hochschild.
Do you think right now in this moment that California customers want to be told what they can and essentially cannot buy, and that California businesses want to be told what they can and cannot sell?
Well, I want to be clear. They will have plenty of choice. There will be plenty of manufacturers and plenty of options. What will not be available is the low efficiency tires that are going to hurt consumers. So I don't want to, suggest in any way that there won't be plenty of choice. There'll be ample choice, but it will be like these other industries that I mentioned. Like when you buy a computer today, that is subject to an efficiency standard. Your refrigerators, your dishwashers, your washing machines, your televisions, your lighting, that's all subject to baseline efficiency standards.
Tires are not appliances. Tires are not appliances.
Right. They're not an appliance in the same sense of having electronics, but they are a product that we buy and use, and it's in that sense it's no different from any of the other products I mentioned. So, and I would say the industry dynamic is not different either. In the other examples that I cited, we had a lot of support from more forward-thinking companies in those industries, and then a lot of opposition. But in every single case, We landed with a successful standard. There's not a single one of those standards that I would say people want to go backwards and suddenly have really wasteful products or it's not working. Every one of those standards, I think, is regarded as a success, and we've saved over $200 billion for ratepayers in the state of California as a consequence. I mean, people complain about high bills. It would be much, much higher if we weren't ranked number one in the U.S. on energy efficiency. We want to keep it that way.
Whoa, there's so much. I'm almost cursed. Oh, this pisses me off. Ashley Zavala, what'd she say? Tires are not appliances. They keep using this appliance comparison. Hair dryers, refrigerators, computers. This is a tire. And when she said that, he goes, well, tires are products that we buy and use, just like all the others. Well, that's pretty deep. Tires are products that we buy and use. Thanks for that, genius, David Hochschild. And then he derided the companies opposing this, like Goodyear, as being backwards, while others are forward-thinking. And then he talks about the electricity bills and about how much money we've been saved because they regulate computers and hair dryers and refrigerators and TVs, except our electricity bills are double the rest of the country. We pay 35 cents per kilowatt hour compared to 17 cents per kilowatt hour. And they're telling you, he's telling us in that clip, it's like, well, it would be even higher without our regulation. Actually, because of all your regulations, we pay double the rest of the country. People don't know this because how would you know the electricity rates in other states? How would you know that? But it's double. It's 35 to 17. That's true. You can go look that up. Because of their regulations. And then they say, oh, it'd be even worse. If you didn't let us regulate hair dryers, oh, you would. What would it be? It's already double. What would it be? Triple? They're always here to help. They always know better. Just trust them. They have a lot of experience. Because they can regulate hair dryers, they can regulate tires. And when she said tires are not appliances, his comeback is, well, they're products that we buy and sell. So that's what we have in common there. He had no answer. And the gas is $1.50 to $2 more a gallon because of all the state regulations. $1.50 to $2 more. Like the electricity is double. 35 cents a kilowatt hour compared to 17. In the rest of the nation, it averages 17. So they have used their regulations to wildly inflate the price of gasoline, wildly inflate the price of oil, wildly inflate the price of electricity, and then tell us that all these regulations are for our own good because they're forward thinking and we're backward thinking. And if you don't listen to us, it might get worse. We're actually going to save you a few pennies. Sure you are. There's a lot of credibility there, which is why they didn't publicize this vote. Ashley Zavala found it out by accident from other sources. There was no public announcement that they were going to do this, no public explanation. And then after the roof came down on the California Energy Commission panel, the commissioners, then their spokeshole contacts Ashley and said, well, you should change the tone. The tone police. You should change the tone. Oh, of telling the truth? The Newsom administration hates the truth. And he's got a pretty large staff of people who try to bully reporters like they're doing to Nick Shirley and other independent reporters. We did that story last hour. Same thing here. They try to bully Ashley Zavala because she's telling the truth. Hey, if Goodyear says prices are going to go up a lot, Goodyear knows. They've been in business forever. They have 50% of the market. They are the most successful tire company out there. With one company that has half the market share, I'm going to go with their analysis, not Gavin Newsom's bucket of lies. And I don't know who this David Hochschild is, but he and the Goblin Both have the same thing. Well, we know how to do that. What was her name? Nancy Skinner. Oh, we know how to do this. We regulate, everything else. Tires are not appliances. They do this just to enjoy the power. And they're lying. They don't have this is from a 2003 law that was passed, which allowed the California Energy Commission to set standards to do analysis. It did not say they could do something like this, ban 70% of the tires. That regulation had sat on the books for 20 years. Nobody did anything about it. Until Nancy Skinner, who wrote most of the horrible climate change legislation that has driven up the cost of gas, oil, and electricity. She wrote the bills. Now she's termed out. Now she's with the California Energy Commission in a seat that she's not qualified for. You're supposed to have engineering experience for that. She doesn't have any. Each seat in the California Energy Commission is supposed to be filled by a person who has expertise in different aspects of the energy industry. She has none of that. She's been a pain in the ass, progressive left-wing legislator from Berkeley who tried to block a law that would make it illegal to pimp out teenage girls. Yeah, she did. She and Scott Wiener. I don't know how to explain this to you any clearer, but if you've been calling up, keep calling up because they're scared. They didn't expect this. I don't know why, out of all the atrocities the legislature has committed, that this would finally cause a tipping point. Don't know why this, and not the first, $2 in the gas price, the $2 excessive charge here in California for gas. And the double the electricity prices, that didn't get people going, but this does. Fine. We'll take it. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A man who pulled up next to an LA County Sheriff's deputy in Palmdale and shot him nearly 3 years ago has been convicted. And San Francisco 49ers owner and CEO Jed York has been busted in Ohio. We'll have more at the top of the hour. Southland weather from KFI, even hotter tomorrow. Highs 80s to around 110. This report brought to you by Staples. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 605 in Santa Fe Springs.
The southbound 605, just past Slauson, is where this wreck is. It's got the carpool and left lanes blocked, so expect some slowing there on the southbound 605 through Santa Fe Springs. In Bloomington, the 10 eastbound before Cedar, wrecking the 2 right lanes, just stopped from Etowanda with that overturned car crash. And in Burbank on the 134 westbound at Pass Avenue, 3 lanes are blocked with that 3-car crash. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy. This report is sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
You've thought about moving some of your IRA into gold. Most people have. Here's what stops them. They think it's complicated. It's not. Golden Crest Metals moves existing IRA and 401k money into physical gold and silver every day. Tax and penalty free. Featured on Fox Business and CNBC. Plus, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857. That's 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offer is a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium mintage coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped at $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry, wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit SmileTunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
Are you ready to sell your house now but want to skip the stress of a traditional listing? Wedgwood Homes offers a cash offer solution. Solution. Close in as little as 3 days or on your timeline.
The thought of having people coming in daily to walk through and view the house just sounded like a nightmare.
Brad called Wedgwood Homes.
I found Wedgwood Homes to be one of the top-rated companies around.
Wedgwood Homes buys homes as is for cash with no fees, no commissions, no repairs.
Considering all the benefits of not having to show the home along with not having to do repairs, the offer was more than fair.
Wedgwood Homes offers are firm, no strings, no multiple showings, no last-minute changes or canceled contracts, unlike other cash buyers.
The process with Wedgwood Homes was everything that I hoped it would be.
Selling as is, relocating, inherited a home, or just financially stressed? Make your next move with Wedgwood Homes. Call now for a no-obligation all-cash offer. 800-307-2010. Southern California's trusted home buyer for over 40 years. 800-307-2010. 800-307-2010 or wedgwoodhomes.com.
I move mountains for a living. Literally. That means I don't carry hand lotion, and when it comes to serious heartburn, I don't mess around with anything but Rolaids Max Strength. Its dual active formula has 1,500 milligrams of calcium carbonate and magnesium hydroxide that relieves heartburn fast. And the best part? The roll fits right here in my pocket, so I can get back to moving mountains.
Rolaids spells powerful relief. 1,500 milligrams is our highest amount of antacid per tablet. Read each label. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Thinking about upgrading your sleep? Now is the time to shop Sleep Number. Trusted by millions for nearly 40 years, Sleep Number offers superior comfort, personalized adjustability, temperature benefits, and value that is unmatched in the industry. And right now, during the Sleep Number Labor Day sale, all mattresses are on sale. Invest in your sleep and experience firsthand Sleep Number's personalized comfort. Stop by a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com to learn more.
This is John Kobylt, and I don't do things halfway. That's why I'm hosting a cruise aboard Oceania's brand new Allura, October 2027, sailing from Rome to Athens with stops in Italy, Malta, Tunisia, and the Greek islands. No water slides, no amusement park atmosphere, just an adults-focused cruise featuring beautiful veranda accommodations, extraordinary destinations, and what Oceania calls the world's finest cuisine at sea. A limited number of guests can join me for an exclusive VIP experience and dinners. Call the travel store at 800-777-6540 or visit JohnKobyltCruise.com.
The countdown to the NFL season is on, and Fox Sports Radio is where you join the conversation with the Dan Patrick Show.
You got some interesting scenarios here.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
You have to strike when the iron is hot in the NFL.
And more. Download the iHeartRadio app, search NFL, and listen now.
KFI, AM 640. More stimulating talk.
Coming up on the next Gary and Shannon show.
We know there's a program in LA City that allows campaign contributions to be matched with taxpayer funds. The question is, why are we doing this?
Gary and Shannon show starts tomorrow at 9.
KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app, John Kobylt Show. And we're on from 3 to 6, and after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand. By the way, just one little quick follow-up. Newsom says the vast majority of tire companies said it's okay to make 70% of these tires now illegal to sell. Goodyear has 50% of the market, and they said no. And they're expecting that the cost of tires will go up by hundreds of dollars per set of 4, where the California Energy Commission claims it's only going to be $6. So you can believe the trolls on the Energy Commission, $6, or Goodyear, which has half the market. And that's, they said it's going to be hundreds. Now, do you know the actor, maybe you would know this, Jon Bernthal?
I do not.
I do.
What's he do? You know,
he's been in Marvel's The Punisher. He was in Inglourious Bastards. He's pretty big.
Well, he went on a radio show recently and got very passionate about pitbulls, and says the myth of the pitbull is a lot of BS. And there's been a bunch of new stories on pitbulls mauling, little boys and elderly women. And in fact, let's see, within the last few months, pit bulls killed an 86-year-old woman in Oklahoma, a 2-year-old in North Carolina, a 7-year-old boy in Colorado. And in the last incident in Colorado, the 7-year-old boy, they found a paper trail in which members of a local pit bull rescue group hid the dog's long and disturbing history of aggression from prospective foster families. The vice president of the Montrose Bully Breed Club wrote, "The dog deserves someone that understands him and his needs and nurtures his confidence." So a mother volunteered to adopt the dog, and the dog killed her son just weeks later. And so now Jon Bernthal, because of all this criticism, this actor went on a radio show and claims that it's a myth. This is dog racism, which is a term I hadn't heard before. The myth of the pit bull is a lot of BS. Pit bulls don't attack. It's just racism. It's just dog racism.
Well, I think a lot of people, not all, but a lot of people that own pit bulls, they train them to be aggressive and dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of times pit bulls are just left outside in a front yard, and they belong to drug dealers. And so this is what I've been told, and they alert when the cops come, they alert their parents, so to speak. Right. And so, I mean, pit bulls, I don't think that pit bulls come out of the womb the way they are raised. All right. They're raised to be aggressive and mean.
Oh, I think there's something wacky in their genetics.
Well, but it's also,
brains.
but it's because of the way I think that they've been probably bred and raised.
Well, all right, but okay, that may be true. But you have to go by the product. And if the product is it goes at your throat and kills you.
Look, I would never, ever have a pit bull. No. And you know how much I love animals, but no, I would not.
Kat Rosenfeld wrote a piece about this, Rosenfield, in the Free Press, and wrote, as with so many activists, the cause is everything to these people, not just an issue dear to their hearts, but the thing that gives their lives shape and meaning. It's an identity. It's a religion. And those who question the cause are not just allies, but bigots and beneath contempt. And now this actor, Jon Bernthal, is accusing really pit bull haters of being, racist bigots against his dog, which is really crazy. We were walking the other day in the Palisades, and a very friendly guy, was walking by, and my wife strikes up conversations with everybody, right? So we're sitting on a bench. She starts talking to him, and he was a good guy, and he had a big dog. And the big dog plopped himself right at my feet. He was like sitting on my feet. And my wife and he are talking. And she says, "What kind of dog is this?" And he said, "Oh, it's part husky, part German Shepherd, part Rottweiler, and part pit bull." And I almost wet my pants. Because I had this, he was big and he was heavy. And I was afraid I was going to twitch or accidentally nudge him or kick him or something. And I said, "Part Rottweiler and part pit bull and German Shepherd."
And he said, "Yeah."
Yeah. I go, "Oh, yeah.
Nice.
Wow, how nice. Can you leave now?"
I bet it was a beautiful dog.
It was a beautiful looking dog, but the dog was capable of murdering me. Right
but it
there.
didn't.
But it
You're
didn't
fine.
because I stayed perfectly still.
That's smart.
I played dead.
Just don't provoke it.
What am I going to do? Call it ugly?
Hey, you never know.
What's wrong with people? You're breeding a Rottweiler with a pit bull, with a German Shepherd, with a husky. It's off its leash.
Oh, it was off its leash?
Yes, that's why it wandered its way to me. Found a home on,
on your feet.
On my feet. Someday I'll tell you about this horrible traumatic experience I had with a German Shepherd once when I was 4 years old.
I'm so sorry, little Johnny.
Oh, little Johnny was chased by a German Shepherd, and it actually gave me a bad phobia for about 20 years. I had to force myself. I couldn't even be around a poodle after this.
Well,
Seriously.
some poodles could be mean.
I know. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI and KOST HD2, Los Angeles, Orange County. More stimulating talk.
Heating up. I'm Deborah Mark, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. We're going from hot to extreme heat in Southern California. National Weather Service meteorologist Mike Wofford says an extreme heat warning starts tomorrow at 10 a.m. And the kind of heat we're seeing is above normal for this time of year.
Honestly, it's been a pretty warm summer for most of the area, but we've ratcheted up a notch with this heat wave, and it's going to be, above normal at least into the weekend.
It could get up to 100 degrees or more in downtown LA and even hotter in the valleys. The news is brought to you by Pacific Coast Termite. An investigation is underway into a massive fire that destroyed much of a historic commercial building in Old Town Newhall. The fire was first reported just before 3 this morning on Main Street, burned through several businesses, including the popular Newhall Refinery Restaurant and a performing arts theater. The fire may have started in an auto body shop, but that hasn't been confirmed. This resident told KTLA it's a real shame because so many improvements were recently done.
Built all the beautiful little sidewalks and all the businesses with nice facades. And it's a shame that just in the blink of an eye that we could lose all this.
Crews remained at the scene for hot spots and lingering embers. A man who pulled up next to an LA County Sheriff's deputy in Palmdale and shot him in broad daylight nearly 3 years ago has been convicted of first-degree murder.
It only took jurors about 2 hours to convict 32-year-old Kevin Eduardo Cantaneo Salazar of Palmdale. He shot Deputy Ryan Klinkenbrummer, who was stopped at a red light near the Palmdale Sheriff's Station on September 16, 2023. He was also found guilty of special circumstance allegations of murder of a peace officer, lying in wait, and firing from a vehicle, along with allegations he personally used and discharged a .22 caliber revolver. Jurors return Wednesday to determine if he was sane or insane. If sane, he could get life in prison. If insane, he'd go to a state hospital. Mark Rauner, KFI News.
Hospitals in California could be penalized for getting too expensive.
The State Office of Healthcare Affordability might adopt fines for hospitals, medical groups, insurers, and others if they don't stay under spending limits. Hospitals accounted for 40% of the increase in U.S. health spending from 2022 to 24. California is among 8 states that have put growth targets on the healthcare sector. None have imposed any fines yet. These fines could be 125% of anything above that target. Hospitals say that'll mean fewer vital services in emergency rooms, obstetrics, and behavioral health. Researchers say almost a quarter of U.S. healthcare spending is considered wasteful. The board meets this week to consider the penalties. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
San Francisco 49ers owner and CEO Jed York has been busted in Ohio.
York was arrested on Sunday. This morning, he pleaded not guilty to 2 misdemeanor charges of disorderly conduct and possessing criminal tools. KRON-TV reports the prosecution amended a charge of engaging in prostitution to disorderly conduct. York was sentenced to 2 days in jail with credit for 1 day served and fined $1,150. The 46-year-old York has a wife and 2 sons. He could be disciplined by the NFL under the personal conduct policy. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
The U.S. Supreme Court has cleared the way for President Trump to implement portions of an executive order over mail-in voting ahead of November's midterms, at least for now. ABC's Devin Dwyer says the court has ruled Democratic officials in 23 states who sued to block it don't have a legal right to challenge it.
The court was clear that if this is implemented in an unlawful way, usurping state authority around elections, they can come back to the court.
The Supreme Court's 3 liberal-leaning justices dissented. Governor Newsom has responded to the ruling, saying the Supreme Court has let the administration move ahead with its plan to disenfranchise voters across the country. But Newsom says California will be suing again to block what he calls those rules from being implemented. We're going to go to the 138 next.
GiveMeTheVin.com. You can sell your car this summer in a hot minute. You ought to try it. Enter your VIN number and get an offer fast. If GiveMeTheVin.com's offer cannot beat CarMax, they will pay you $100. GiveMeTheVin.com will get you your check on the spot. It's easy. It's fast. It's GiveMeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southline weather from KFI, sunny and hotter tomorrow. Highs upper 80s to around 100 for Metro LA. 101 to 110 in the valleys and the IE. Windy in the IE. 90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy. Low to mid 80s for the beaches. Low 90s inland OC. Right now, 79 in Dana Point, 93 in Anaheim, 98 in Diamond Bar, 94 in Simi Valley. The KFI financial update. The Dow closed up 140 S&P 500 down 22, NASDAQ down 200. Crash on the 138 in Lancaster.
Westbound on the 138 between 30th Street and 70th Street West shut down because of a crash, a car versus semi there, and the fuel tank was leaking from that big rig. So be careful getting toward that. You're going to find a lot of slowing, and traffic really held up there. In Burbank on the 134 westbound at Pass Avenue, 3 lanes are blocked with that crash. Montecito Heights still dealing with trouble on the 110 northbound before Avenue 43. Stall, right lane, slow from the 5. In Santa Fe Springs on the 605 freeway southbound past Slauson, a couple of lanes blocked, including the carpool lane with a crash. In Bloomington, they've cleared that wreck from the 10 eastbound before Cedar Avenue. Did have things pretty slow from Haven. And in Anaheim Hills, the 91 freeway eastbound at the 241. Wreck on the right shoulder, several other vehicles involved in that general area. Things are stopped from Imperial Highway. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
In this edition of the Marketer's Report, Giovanni Martinez, Senior Director of Marketing and Innovation for Avocados from Mexico, speaks on audio's reach.
We know how powerful is audio. I mean, with the frequency, the reach that you can generate with that component is something that we always have as an add-on in our campaigns.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia connects marketers to the audiences, live conversations, and trusted influencers you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartAdvertising.com.
Here's the deal. The government is over $38 trillion in debt, which means the IRS isn't slowing down. And the tax code is complex and unforgiving. So it's not surprising if you're one of the millions of Americans that owe back taxes to the IRS. Unfortunately, they're the world's most powerful collection agency, with the ability to garnish your wages, seize your bank accounts, and even take your home or business. But don't be stressed or worried any longer. We're Optima Tax Relief, America's most trusted tax resolution firm. We have resolved over $3 billion in tax debt for our clients. Our award-winning professionals deal with the IRS every single day, protecting our clients and preparing them for the best possible resolution. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, give Optima a call today.
Call 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022. 800-764-6022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Our iHeartRadio Music Festival
presented by Capital One
is coming back to Las Vegas.
September 18th and 19th at T-Mobile Arena.
Stream it live on Disney Plus and Hulu. And keep listening for the next chance to win your way to be there.
Some apps say they're free, then come the fees. Not the iHeart app. It's 100% free. No required subscriptions to access the best live radio stations, free playlists, podcasts, and more. Download the free iHeart app today.
iHeart Radio.
KFI AM 640.
An iHeart radio station. Guaranteed human.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. How are you? It's good you're here. It's the John Kobylt Show, and we're on from 3 to 6. After 6 o'clock, whatever you missed, John Kobylt Show on demand on the iHeart app. We are live on X, live on YouTube. Subscribe, become a member, and watch our videos every day. YouTube.com/@John Kobylt Show. That's where you do the subscribing. And there's even a chat room on the YouTube page as well. All right. This is galling. New York Post just came out with this a short time ago. This is one of those I should read as is. Gavin Newsom lists sprawling mansion for $7.5 million. It comes with a 5,000 bottle wine cellar. I think now we know the problem. And a personal wellness oasis. And there's a picture of the grifters, Gavin and Jennifer, holding each other with the most obnoxious, self-satisfied, smug smiles on their face. Have you seen the photo?
Oh, yeah, she has a huge smile.
Huge smile. And look at his goofy smile.
Yeah. They look so in love and happy.
I'm not sure. The other photos, is the top photo the personal wellness oasis?
Let me look at it again. I just saw it.
They're listing the property for double what they paid 8 years ago. This is guy makes $200,000 a year as governor. 12,000 square foot home, 7640 to buy away, 8 acres. Says it's been used largely for events like a Christmas party that irritated neighbors in their gated community. It offers 7 bedrooms and 12 baths. 12 baths?
That's more than you have.
That is more than I have.
Wait, so this is different from the house that he bought for $9 million?
Correct.
Oh, okay.
And this is separate from the governor's mansion that they have for him in Sacramento.
Must be nice.
Yeah. Well, the Getty family started up 10 of his 11 businesses.
Is there an underground tunnel to the French Laundry?
12 baths. 12 bathrooms.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of toilets.
Well, he's not cleaning them.
He's really full of it, so maybe he needs 12 toilets. It offers an unparalleled combination of grandeur, comfort, and effortless entertaining. Boy, if I want a night of effortless entertaining, a night with Gavin and Jennifer, I'm sure that'd be a load of fun. A resort-style pool, full-size tennis court, private casita. What is that? What's a casita?
It's like a little extra.
Like a gazebo.
Yeah. Or it could be an extra kind of like a cottage.
How do you know this?
I don't have one.
You don't?
No.
Because you've got a pretty big place.
John, my house can fit inside yours.
Oh, I got it. It's a small house, like a casa is house in Spanish, casita, small house.
Oh, I see.
It's a small little, like a guest house.
The 5,000 bottle wine cellar probably had 4,000 of those bottles. Now get this one. Its primary bathroom is a destination unto itself.
Ooh, I want to see.
Offering a spa-like experience that extends into an outdoor resort-style private pool, a cold plunge, and a hot tub, similar to a personal wellness oasis, just steps from the primary suite. Other amenities include a wet bar, 4 fireplaces, a weight room, many varieties of trees on a meticulously landscaped, lush grounds and sweeping views, positioned on a bluff near the American River. He had purchased the house in 2018 for $3.7 million through an LLC connected to Newsom's cousin, Jeremy Scherer, who worked for Newsom's Plump Jack Hospitality Company, which is the wineries and restaurants. That sounds shady, doesn't it? He bought it through a cousin's LLC. The Newsoms earned between $1.7 million and $2 million annually from 2022 to 2024. The governor's wine business. Thought that whole wine business was in a blind trust. And they're still under investigation, by the way. That investigation with the FBI is still going on for whatever Jennifer was doing with her nonprofit and for-profit companies. Even though it's not being covered in the news right now, they have a very high-powered lawyer named Abby Lowell who last worked for Hunter Biden. So it's that level of trouble that they're in. Isn't that disgusting, though? We should go there and visit our money. How much of our tax money ended up in?
I want a tour of that bathroom.
12 bathrooms.
I know, but I want the spa one. That's the one I'm interested in.
See, you know what?
I'm living vicariously.
You could easily be a Jennifer Newsom.
I could.
Yeah.
I just don't have that money. But if I did, you're right.
I can see there is a Jennifer Newsom trapped inside you.
No,
waiting
I
to
have a little
burst
more.
out.
Well, I'm not going to say.
No, go ahead.
I
Really.
would say a little more depth, but I don't know her. So that was disparaging. I'm so sorry, Jennifer. I don't know you.
Wow. Only a woman could be that judgmental.
No,
to
I'm
another
not.
woman.
I honestly, I was kidding because I don't know her.
Okay.
Seriously.
All right, but that's the
Hey,
vibe you
I
get.
could admit I'm jealous. I would love to have that kind of lifestyle. I'd still be me. I'd be the real
But
person
you
that
would,
I am.
You would wake up next to Gavin Newsom every morning.
Well, I didn't say that.
Well, that's the job description.
I'm just saying the money that she has.
You get the wellness oasis, and you wake up, and naked Gavin Newsom is in bed next to you.
How do you know he's naked?
He looks like that guy. All right, more coming up. Deborah Mark, live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. California Attorney General Bonta cancels a meeting about a potential settlement with Paramount Skydance, and Canada's pushing back on new tariffs being imposed on Canadian imports into the U.S. We'll have more at the bottom of the hour, heading over to the 6:05 next.
Infinity Bank. Most banks give you a call center. Infinity Bank gives you the president, Victor Guerrero. And you can speak directly with him at 657-223-1000. 657-223-1000. Open an account. Visit infinity.bank.
Southland weather from KFI, even hotter tomorrow. Highs 80s to around 110. This report brought to you by Allstate. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 605 in Norwalk.
It's northbound just before Florence Avenue. That crash in the next to the left lane. Traffic is stop and go back to Firestone Boulevard. San Dimas checking in with a problem on the 210 eastbound before Foothill Boulevard. Left lane blocked with a crash. You stop and go from San Dimas Avenue. And in Corona on the 71 southbound connector to the eastbound 91. Stall in the right lane as you stop and go back to Pine Avenue. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
If you've been hurt in a car, truck, or motorcycle accident, the system is rigged against you, and Sweet James is here to fix it. Don't take on the legal system alone. Sweet James has helped thousands of injured accident victims get back what their accident took from them. Call Sweet James Accident Attorneys for a free case review. You call 1-800-9-MILLION or go to sweetjames.com.
Just call Sweet James. At 1-800-9-MILLION. Just call Sweet James. Your accident attorneys.
If you run a business, you know the value of trust. It's what keeps your customers coming back. And it's what you get when you advertise with iHeart. More than 75% of listeners consider iHeart hosts their friends and trust their recommendations. Now take that trusted influence and combine it with iHeart's massive reach and scale, and you've got the formula for growing your business. Learn how easy it is to tell your story through our voices. Call 844-844-iHeart today. That's 844-844-iHeart.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate, not one based on anyone else. So if you drive safely, you could save money. Good to know. Visit allstate.com or call for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
This report is sponsored by the Blizzard Double Flip Deal at Dairy Queen. The only thing better than grabbing a Blizzard treat on a warm, sunny day would be snagging a second one for just 99 cents with the Blizzard Double Flip Deal. It's buy one Blizzard treat, get another one for just 99 cents only when you order on the DQ app. DQ. Happy tastes good. For limited time at participating U.S. locations.
Gold has hit near record highs, and many Americans are discovering they can move part of their existing IRA or 401k into physical gold and silver without paying taxes or penalties. It's called a rollover, and Golden Crest Metals helps investors do it every day. No cash out, no complicated paperwork, no hassle. Golden Crest is a nationally recognized precious metals firm seen on Fox Business and CNBC with an A- BBB rating and 5-star reviews. Plus, right now, receive up to $25,000 in free silver with a qualifying purchase. Call 888-447-7857 now. That's 888-447-7857. Call 888-447-7857. Not a financial advisor. Precious metals involve risk. Free silver offer is a 10% bonus in silver on qualifying purchases of premium mintage coins. $10,000 minimum purchase required. Bonus silver capped at $25,000 and credited to customer account. See goldencrestmetals.com for full terms.
Avoiding shorts because of your varicose veins? Just call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
You don't pay for iHeartRadio. Our advertisers do. That's why it's always been and always will be 100% free. Radio, music, podcasts. Download the iHeartRadio app now.
It's complicated. These days, that's how people even describe their relationship status. When it comes to the latest complexities in your car, it's gotten really complicated. The experts at AMCO undergo the most rigorous training to stay on top of the latest car technologies, so there's nothing we can't fix. Well, except for that complicated relationship. When it comes to that, you're on your own. AA, MCO. Check engine light on? We'll check it for free.
Amco, with over 40 centers serving Southern California.
The countdown to the new NFL season is on.
And now, all 32 in-market local teams can be heard on the free iHeartRadio app.
He's in! That's a Jet touchdown! Just open the app and search your favorite team.
Plus, Fox Sports Radio breaks it all down.
As we get closer to week 1. It's crazy, and it's fun.
Join the conversation and stay locked in.
Makes the catch!
Live, local games with you all season long.
Download the iHeartRadio app.
Search NFL and press play.
KFI AM 640.
More stimulating talk.
It's Conway Show. Today, after 6 p.m., a lot more information on that phony poll that came out about the L.A. mayor's race. We'll tell you who did it and why they did it. That's all today after 6 on the Conway Show.
Can't find AM 640, more stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. And you can follow us every day at John Kobylt Radio on social media. We're live on X, live on YouTube, and live on the radio and streaming here. Oh, Thursday, speaking of live, we got a live stream. Thursday at 11 a.m. 11 a.m., a live stream I'll be doing for you. Extra bonus. All right? So go to YouTube, or it's on YouTube and X, right? The live stream? Yep. All right. We'll have that for you Thursday morning at 11 a.m. So I was, over the weekend, I met a guy who used to be in the electric car industry. And he had a very important job at one of the major electric car manufacturers. He was in design. And we started talking about electric cars because, I have been howling for many years about Gavin Newsom's stupid mandate that we only can buy electric cars by 2035. It would have been just 8 years away. In fact, I think 2027 was a demarcation point where a third of the cars sold in California had to be electric. I don't know how they were going to enforce that exactly. But yeah, by 2035, 100% of the cars sold would be electric. And we were talking about, range issues. And he said, well, it really would never have worked. Now, I want you to listen to this carefully. He told me on Sunday morning that it never would have worked with this mandate because if 18 million drivers switched to electric cars, and we were all mandated to, that would use just as much electricity as we are using right now in the state for everything else. All right? So we'd have to double the supply of electricity in California. And they have been closing power sources, not adding to them. Right? They were closing natural gas power plants. They were closing nuclear power plants. And just the way he put it, it's like, oh my God, this thing actually was on the books. It passed. This was Newsom's baby. And there was never an infrastructure to supply the electricity. What the hell was going to happen if you could only buy electric cars, but there wasn't an electrical generating infrastructure that was built? And it wasn't built. It wasn't in the process of being built. There were no plans. And you know what else he said? And there are very few chargers still to this day on the road. So you didn't have electrical power generating stations, and you didn't have the charging stations. But we were all going to be stuck with electric cars that we really wouldn't be able to use. Right? Where would you plug them in if you were on the road? And if you plugged them in at home, well, everybody would run out of electricity real fast. You'd need double. If we all went home at night and charged our electric cars, we'd need double the output that California is capable of. Double. And then I saw this today in the California Post. somebody known as her name's Linda. She's from California. She's described as a food influencer. I have no idea what that is. You know, people now have the most absurd jobs and the most absurd ways to describe themselves. Okay, Linda, the food influencer. So she posted that she was trying to charge her electric car at Costco. And she's using, she's got a Rivian. And it's a fast charger. And she put on her social media, it's going to take an hour and 10 minutes to get from 27% to 100% charging. Apparently, she's got a video clip. And how much does it cost to charge a Rivian? Is it worth it? And after an hour and 10 minutes, she got from 27 to almost 100, and it cost her $62.89 for the charging session. Now, that's a lot of money. That's not a great deal. An hour and 10 minutes? And that's for a fast charge. And I'm thinking, my God, this whole thing was just a scam and a racket. And everybody fell for it. And people started buying the electric cars. And the guy I was talking to said the range anxiety is a real issue. Because, just driving uphill can drain your battery, right? Cold weather in the northern climates can drain your battery dramatically. But beyond that, the charging stations still to this day are few and far between. Biden had, you remember, I don't know how many $1 billion he spent, and they were supposed to have a national charging network. And to this day, hardly any of them were ever built. I don't know what happened to the billions of dollars. Oh, wait. I know what happened. It was all stolen. So this was an absolute. Now, the Trump administration, thankfully, overturned Newsom's electric car mandate, which is one of the best things the Trump administration has done for California. You have no idea. Imagine being forced to buy a car soon, no charging stations. We don't have the electric generation to justify this. And the cars itself take an hour and don't really cost that much less than gas. Not the price of gas in other cities, in other states. In fact, Katie Grimes had a California Globe story today on this. Gas prices today in California average $5.61 a gallon. And because she reminded everybody, because you forget this stuff, Tony Strickland had a bill that would have lowered the price of gas by $1.08, the Gas Tax Relief Act. And that would have saved us $21 per tank of gas. And the Democrats refused to vote for it. Refused. So we have $5.61. The national average is $4.09. So we're $1.52 more than the average. Some states are down to $3.60. We're at $5.60. Other states are at $3.60. And they passed the new tire restrictions, which is going to cost us hundreds of dollars. And they claim we'll save a few cents on our gasoline bill. This is so abusive and so wrong. It's just unbelievable. And the thing is, now it's going to be 2027 soon, and still no chargers built, still no power plants. None. No power plants were built. Very few chargers. And this was an ironclad law from Gavin Newsom. And now he's going off to run for president. It's just shocking how stupid and shoddy his policies were. And how just how nasty these people are in the way they treat us. Electric car mandate. Oh, but we forgot the electricity. We got more coming up. I got you some quotes from the high-speed rail knucklehead. Ian Chowdhury. He's now complaining that the reason he can't get high-speed rail built is because of California's environmental regulations. Seriously. Tell you that when we come back. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
California Attorney General Bonta canceled a meeting about a potential settlement with Paramount Skydance.
The meeting would have taken place today. Bonta says the company demonstrated a lack of good faith in early settlement talks. Bonta is leading a group of states suing to block Paramount Skydance's planned merger with Warner Brothers Discovery, citing antitrust rules. Paramount Skydance agreed to delay its acquisition of WBD while the case heads to trial, but unions are pushing for a quick settlement. Bonta says his office had a meeting with Paramount on Friday, and it did not maintain the confidentiality of that meeting. He says the company leaked the alleged substance of settlement discussions and misrepresented the discussions. Daniel Martindale, KFI News.
The back end of Hollywood production is falling further behind.
State lawmakers looking at giving tax credits for spending on post-production jobs, including sound, visual effects, and editing. Researchers say California's share of those jobs has dropped from 53% to 42% over the last 13 years, as New York, Atlanta, Canada, and more offer financial incentives to the studios. Critics say AB 2319 would give $100 million a year in tax credits to subsidize jobs and projects that are already here. Those in favor say the tax credit would bring back or keep post-production jobs in the state, even if the production is filmed outside of California. Michael Crozier, KFI News.
Canada is now pushing back on new tariffs being imposed on Canadian imports into the U.S. ABC's Karen Travers says 50% tariffs have been put on some Canadian imports, which are paid by U.S. companies importing those products.
The Prime Minister says that this is now a war, and they're going to fire back in this trade war. They're putting their own tariffs on American goods starting on September 8th. Those will also be 50%.
Some Canadian officials say President Trump and his administration cannot be trusted on these issues. U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says the clock is ticking for the Iranian regime. Bessent says new U.S. sanctions aim to cut off every source of revenue for Tehran, including secondary sanctions that could punish foreign companies and countries that continue doing business with Iran.
The new sectoral sanctions determinations issued today target 5 of Iran's most vital lifelines that it exploits in other countries: digital assets, technology, gold, aviation, and shipping.
Bessent did not name countries that could face secondary sanctions, but China and Turkey are among Iran's largest trading partners. And a growing number of colleges may soon offer a faster and more affordable path to a degree.
Forbes says a growing number of colleges across the country are rolling out 3-year bachelor degree programs. Schools including Johnson & Wales, BYU Idaho, Ensign College, and others already offering the accelerated option. Supporters say the trend could help reduce student debt and get grads into the workforce sooner, but critics worry students might miss some of the broader educational experiences. At least 26 states now have a college offering a reduced credit 3-year bachelor's program, and more than 70 institutions are either offering or exploring the model. Monica Nelson, KFI News.
We're going to head over to the 405 next.
GiveMeTheVIN.com. This summer, you can sell your car in a hot minute. You ought to try it. Enter your VIN number and get an offer fast. If GiveMeTheVIN.com's offer cannot beat CarMax, they'll pay you $100. GiveMeTheVIN.com. You'll get your check on the spot. Easy, fast. GiveMeTheVIN.com. America's best car buyer.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVIN.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Southland weather from KFI, sunny and hotter tomorrow. Highs upper 80s to around 100 metro LA. 101 to 110 in the valleys in the IE. Windy in the IE. 90s to the triple digits in the high desert and windy. Low to mid 80s at the beaches. Low 90s inland OC. Right now 91 in Laguna Woods and 95 in Rancho Santa Margarita. Crash on the 405 in Van Nuys.
It's northbound at Sherman Way, and it's in the left lane. This crash was being worked on in the left lane. Back things up all the way to Wilshire Boulevard. It's probably adding about 45 minutes to your drive. In Lancaster, on the 138 westbound between 30th Street West and 70th Street West, that's closed down, that stretch, because of a crash and a fuel leak from the semi that was involved. 91 freeway eastbound at the 241. Crash on the right shoulder and some other problems in that general area too, right shoulder. Traffic is pretty much stopped from Glassell streets. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
Thinking about upgrading your sleep? Now is the time to shop Sleep Number.
Trusted by millions for nearly 40 years, Sleep Number offers superior comfort, personalized adjustability, temperature benefits, and value that is unmatched in the industry. And right now, during the Sleep Number Labor Day sale, all mattresses are on sale. Invest in your sleep and experience firsthand Sleep Number's personalized comfort. Stop by a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com to learn more.
Incogni removes your info from databases used by scammers. Incogni.com/KFI for 60% off.
Help your kid excel in math and love it at brilliant.org.
Visit LearCapital.com for your free gold investment kit. That's LearCapital.com.
This August, choose any 2 offers from American Vision Windows. Give them a call or visit the website today.
Urgent message, Eaton Fire home contamination. If you live within 45 miles of the Eaton Fire in Altadena, your home may have been exposed to asbestos and other hazardous fibers. Homeowners may qualify for compensation for fire-related contamination and property damage, potentially more than $100,000. There's no upfront cost for a free home testing consultation. Don't wait. Call 855-LA-FIRE-0 today to find out if you qualify. You can't always see contamination, but it could be there. 855-LA-FIRE-0. Call now.
Hey, it's Chris Merrill. What if you could replace your entire home's incoming water pipe system in just one day and save thousands? Creative Repipe is offering KFI listeners 20% off plus great financing. Call for your free estimate. 888-373-0046 or visit creativerepipe.com.
KFI.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. We're on from 3 to 6 and after 6 o'clock, John Kobylt Show on demand. Okay, so I told you about, in the last segment, the incredible amount of regulation that has sent our gas and electricity prices way beyond any other state. We've been talking a lot about this today. Our electricity prices are double the national average, double. Gas prices, $1.50 above the average, $2 above compared to a number of states. And now the biggest embarrassment in a normal world, everyone connected to this would have resigned by now. It's high-speed rail. It's a tremendous embarrassment should be to the Newsom administration. It has now been going on for, 18 years. Yeah, we passed this in November of 2008. 18 years. As you know, there's no track. And there are no trains. No trains even purchased. No track has been laid down. And the boob now running California High-Speed Rail is the CEO, Ian Chaudhry. And he gave a speech at the Rotary Club of Fresno, which sounds like an exciting day. So he's in Fresno, and he's trying to explain to everyone why it's taken 18 years and we have no track and no train. And he says, get this, it's California's regulations. The state can't build a high-speed railroad because of the state's regulations on building a high-speed railroad. You following that? Their own laws prohibit them from building the railroad. This is after $17 billion went down the hole. After 18 years, this is what the CEO says. Oh, well, you know why we can't build it? It's our own regulations. And I mention the Empire State Building often because when I was a kid growing up in New Jersey, that to me was one of the wonders of the world. 102 stories. And I looked up one day, and I have it in front of me here. How long did it take to build the Empire State Building? Eric, do a guess. Just a wild guess.
4 years.
1 year, 1 month.
No way.
100, yes. Construction started on March 17th, 1930. This is 1930s technology. And construction completed on April 11th, 1931. Almost exactly 13 months. Actually, about a week short of 13 months. 102 stories. And They were done on April 11th. It opened on May the 1st. Isn't that incredible? It opened 3 weeks later. It cost $40 million, which is the equivalent to about $700 million today. $700 million, 1 year, 1 month. Compared to $17 billion and 18 years. And we have nothing. Listen to this boob, Ian Chowdhury. He even came up with a better comparison. He said the transcontinental railroad system constructed in the 1800s across the Rocky Mountains were built at a pace of up to 10 miles a day. 10 miles a day. 10 miles a day. How could that be? We have no miles in 18 years. But Chowdhury said there is a permitting regulatory environment. The state has something called the California Environmental Quality Act, known as CEQA. You may have heard of that. CEQA. And it causes it to take forever to build. Not only that. All right. So they have no track. They've not even purchased trains. You know what else they don't have? They don't have an energy generation system to power the high-speed rail. So even if we had the tracks and we had the trains, we can't generate the energy. Like I told you when I met the guy from the electric car industry, he says we don't have the electrical generation infrastructure in the state at all. And we don't have the charging stations, except for a few. Well, when it comes to high-speed rail, they need to build a power generation system. Now, Chowdhury said the plan is to build a green one, right? Because the reason everybody got excited with high-speed rail, because it was going to be electric. It wouldn't be diesel. It wouldn't be polluting. Well, the thing is about electric everything, you need an original source of power. And often you need natural gas for that or nuclear energy. But of course, in California, it's like, well, it's got to be green energy, wind and solar. In fact, they wanted 100% clean, high-speed rail operations. But there are so many environmental permits and local permits needed that they never built the power stations. I didn't know this. He said the power generation has got to be a green one, solar, wind, and geothermal. If we're going to do green power, why do we need CEQA clearance for that? Right. If they're going to have clean green power, why do you need environmental regulations to be met? He doesn't understand this. Of course, nobody brought this up for 18 years. Isn't this crazy? Well, how long is it going to take to build the power generation stations? We found out last week that if even if they bought the trains tomorrow, it'd be 4 years before they were done manufacturing and testing them. And it might be 8 years. No power generation. And of course, no rail. And this still goes on. It still goes on since November of 2008. Nowhere else on the planet. And how are people going to vote in November? I mean, Steve Hilton's shutting this down. Steve Hilton also wants to shut down the California Energy Commission that's bringing you far more expensive tires. Javier Becerra says, no, whatever Newsom's doing, we're going to keep doing. We're going to keep doing high-speed rail. Becerra wants to keep doing high-speed rail. He actually does. He said so out loud. He wants to continue. He had no criticisms of anything going on in the Newsom administration. Even after 18 years of no trains, no track, and no power generation system. Gee, I don't know who to vote for. All right, and more coming up. Deborah Mark live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
Here is the latest. A fire has destroyed 7 businesses in Old Town Newhall, and a judge in Texas denies a new trial for Carmelo Anthony, who was convicted of killing another teen during a high school track meet. We'll have more at the top of the hour, going to the 7:10 next.
Infinity Bank. When it comes to banking, are all of your eggs in one basket? Well, what happens when your card doesn't work and you have to look at the back of a card to find the 800 number? What happens if your wallet is stolen? Who will be that reliable source when you need money, new cards, or assurance that your money is safe? Well, you won't have to worry about that with Infinity Bank. Call Victor Guerrero. He's the president to set up a new account today. 657-223-1000. 657-223-1000. And for a limited time only, don't miss out on one of the best rates in the U.S. with their money market savings account. Infinity Bank.
Southland weather from KFI. Hotter tomorrow. Highs 80s to around 110. This report brought to you by Blindster.com. From your Toyota dealer's traffic center, we make it easy. Crash on the 710 in East L.A.
Southbound 710 at the 5. All lanes stopped momentarily, at least, for this crash that's being worked on. Traffic is quickly backed up to almost the 60. In Santa Clarita, the 14 freeway northbound before Sand Canyon Road. It's a crash blocking the carpool lane and left lane. Motorcycle involved in that. And in Norwalk on the 605 freeway northbound before Florence, I reckon the next to the left lane as you stop and go from Firestone. With Southern California's most accurate traffic reports, I'm Randy Fuller.
Every day, Californians work hard to build a better future. They deserve leaders who work just as hard for them, not for special interests. In the Assembly, Juan Carrillo is delivering solutions for the high desert, building more affordable housing, investing in good-paying jobs, and lowering costs for hardworking families. Because California deserves problem solvers who deliver real solutions on the issues that matter most. Paid for by Grow California.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. Tired of overpriced blinds? Blindster makes custom blinds simple and affordable. You measure at home, install yourself, and save big. No retail store markups, just custom blinds guaranteed to fit. Blindster.com.
This report is sponsored by Anthem Blue Cross. Anthem Blue Cross and Chicas Verdes are helping students throughout Los Angeles learn how to grow and prepare their own healthy food. They're joined by Sparks and will provide education, recipes, and knowledge to students and families. Learn more at anthem.com/ca/Sparks. Anthem Blue Cross is the trade name of Blue Cross of California.
If you're one of those people trapped in those horrible timeshares, now that is why the only timeshare exit company that I endorse is LoneStarTransfer.com. They create a customized exit plan for your specific situation. And then lastly, their team will execute it all start to finish. Call my friends at Lone Star Transfer today. It's 833-594-0075 or check them out on the web at LoneStarTransfer.com.
What's the price of good health? If you've been putting off a weight loss procedure because you think it's too expensive, think again. If you are 50 pounds or more overweight, you are opening the door for a future of medical bills. But you know what is free? Consultation at West Medical. At West Medical, bariatric procedures may be covered by many PPO insurance plans. Stop waiting and start investing in your health today. Call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL for your free, no-obligation consultation or visit westmedical.com.
Feel incredible, 'cause I call 1-800-WEST-MEDICAL.
I'm not great with words after a fight, and I'm sorry, wasn't cutting it this time. So I used Smile Tunes to write a soulful ballad about how she's always right. By the second chorus, the silent treatment was officially over. Visit smiletunes.com and get out of the doghouse today.
For Bud, the harmonica is a family affair. Now Bud's living with prostate cancer. He still knows how to groove, and he also knows once daily Xtandi. Xtandi treats metastatic prostate cancer that responds to a medical or surgical treatment to lower testosterone. Xtandi is proven to help these men live longer. Xtandi may cause serious side effects: seizure, a brain condition called PRESS, allergic reactions, heart disease that can lead to death, falls and bone fractures, swallowing problems, or choking that can lead to death. Stop Xtandi and get medical help at once if your face, tongue, lip, or throat start swelling. Tell your doctor at once if you faint, have a seizure, quickly worsening headache, decreased alertness, confusion, vision problems, chest pain or discomfort, or shortness of breath. Xtandi can cause harm to an unborn baby or miscarriage. Use birth control during and 3 months after Xtandi. Common side effects include muscle and joint pain, feeling unusually tired, hot flashes, constipation, less appetite, diarrhea, high blood pressure, bleeding, falls, fractures, and headache. What a riff, Bud. Ask your doctor about Xtandi.
Therapy Thursday with Ellen K is a new podcast, real problems and the kind of drama you can't stop thinking about. Catch it on the iHeartRadio app and wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what the most expensive mattress you could buy is? The wrong mattress.
But only Sit and Sleep has bed match technology that scientifically fits you with just the right mattress.
This Labor Day, save up to $1,400 on select Tempur-Pedic adjustable sets. Plus, with your good credit, get interest-free financing for 36 months with your minimum monthly payment.
So don't buy the wrong mattress at the wrong mattress store. Trust your sleep to Sit and Sleep.
Sit and Sleep will beat anyone's advertised price, or your mattress is free.
It's Conway. Join me and Travel Store in February of 2027 for an incredible Caribbean cruise aboard Oceana Cruises. We'll sail from San Juan to St. Barts, St. Martin, St. Kitts, St. John, plus a limited number of guests can purchase exclusive VIP opportunities with me. All they're asking for is a $200 deposit before August 31st, and they'll give you a $200 onboard credit. 800-777-6540 or ConwayCruise.com. ConwayCruise.com.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk.
On the next Bill Handel Show, don't you hate it when your boomer neighbors light up a joint? Well, neighbors are tired of smelling that pot every day. It's coming up tomorrow morning after 7 on the next Bill Handel Show, man.
KFI AM 640. More stimulating talk radio. John Kobylt Show. Conway coming up in about 15 minutes. This is hard to believe, but they're doing it in plain sight. And these are the people you keep voting for. There's those of you in Moreno Valley, in Riverside County, wake up, pay attention to this. You have an assemblyman that you have put into office, Dr. Corey Jackson. He got his master's in social work, according to Katie Grimes. Corey Jackson founded and is the director of a nonprofit known as CART, C-A-R-T, which stands for Center Against Racism and Trauma. It's a tax-exempt nonprofit. And as an assemblyman, he named CART his district's nonprofit of the year. And on top of that, he steered $6 million of your tax money to fund it. You following this? Dr. Corey Jackson, Moreno Valley, has a nonprofit, the Center Against Racism and Trauma, and he named CART his district's nonprofit of the year and gave it $6 million of tax money. This assemblyman directed $6 million of tax money to his own nonprofit. It's in the budget. It's in the floor report of the 26-27 budget. Here's exactly what it says, because Katie printed it. Approved $6 million general fund one time for the Center Against Racism and Trauma to expand anti-racism programming and trauma recovery resources. Well, this sounds like a load of garbage. In the Inland Empire, a White House correspondent, Natalie Winters, posted on X, quote, California quietly boosted taxpayer funding for a nonprofit founded by a sitting assemblyman from $250,000. They raised it to $6 million, a 2,300% increase, she wrote. Its latest IRS return reports 0 employees, 0 volunteers, and only $57,667 in annual expenses. This is what they do. So Corey Jackson has a fake nonprofit with no employees and no volunteers. And he steered $6 million of your money and my money to this fake nonprofit. And it's in writing. It's in the freaking budget. And actually, this authorization apparently was legitimized in the Stop Nick Shirley Act. This was one of the provisions, which, of course, is supposed to stop independent journalists from reporting on the fraud in the system. Well, now you see why. So under this new law, if somebody went to this fake Center Against Racism and Trauma and started taking video, well, I was going to say and interviewing employees, except there aren't any employees to interview. So what's there? And he actually presented what looks to be an expensive plaque. Congratulations to Center Against Racism and Trauma and to Miss Janet Ruths for being named 2026 Nonprofit Organization of the Year. I know. So she's running something that has no employees. We Are CART is one of their online handles, pushing humanity and dignity forward. Our mission is to eliminate racism in all its forms and provide healing for all. The address is 14340 Ellsworth Street, Suite 104 in Moreno Valley. Oh, my goodness. I might have violated the law just by giving out that address, huh? Right? The Stop Nick Shirley Act?
Oh, you might have.
Wow.
Could be a $4,000 fine coming your way.
Oh, I'm probably going to end up in jail. And he's got this photo of the presentation. And there's another woman who has something to do with the center, and she's wearing a mask. This picture's from May 20th, 2026. She's wearing a mask indoors as they're accepting the plaque and the honor. The hell is that about? Boy, people really look like whack jobs walking around wearing masks still. Then they also, Katie Grimes printed an ad that We Are CART put out. It's time to do something. Let's end racism. Donate here, destroyracism.org. Systems determine winners and losers. Oh, we got to do more on this. This is outrageous. This one I never heard of. This is what I suspected. And I suspect this is going on, but usually they have a cover. Here, Corey Jackson is openly sending $6 million to his own nonprofit that has no employees. No employees and no volunteers. And it's public. It's in the budget. And there's photos, and it's unbelievable. They're so arrogant. Now, the arrogance is overwhelming almost every day. I mean, if you're going to steal money, you usually cover it up. That's what they normally do. Now they don't anymore because they don't think it'll affect your votes. Corey Jackson figures he'll get elected no matter what. He can say, hey, look over here. I just took $6 million of your tax money for a nonprofit with no employees. Ha, ha, ha. All right. We'll be back on this tomorrow for sure. All right, we're done. Podcast will be released in a few minutes. And Michael Crozier has the news live in the KFI 24-hour newsroom.
KFI.